A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. The Girl in the Powder Blue Jag. Written for Suspense by Walter Black.
The more I never saw so much dirt in my life. The more I sweep it, the more I stir up. Oh, that's the trouble with these summer places. By the time you get them clean, it's time to shut up and leave. Oh, darn. Be right there. I said I was coming. Now, what's the matter, miss?
Can I come in?
Well, sure. What happened? You had an accident or something?
Oh, I cracked up my car just down the road. There's a big wall.
The beach wall, yeah.
I guess I must have been going too fast. The next thing I knew, I'd hit it. I must have blacked out for a minute.
You got a family doctor you want me to call?
I don't know.
What?
I don't even know who I am.
How's the bed, hon?
Oh, fine, thank you, Mrs. Sims.
Now, you call me Claire. Everybody else does.
Claire.
That's better. The man at the police station said he'd bring a doctor with him.
I feel so lost, not even knowing my own name.
But you do. It's Kendall Endicott. Kind of a nice, out of the ordinary name, too.
But how do I know it's mine? A checkbook with a name printed on it? I could have stolen it.
You're not the type, hon.
What type am I? I don't know anything about myself.
Well, take it from me, hon. You're just not the type. Besides, that car you were driving, that's a Jaguar. You don't buy those for cigarette coupons. Incidentally, you're lucky. All you need's the new front grille. Oh, thank goodness, that must be the police. Now, no more worrying, hon. We'll find out all about you now.
I'll check with you again tomorrow, Miss Endicott, and don't you worry. You do just like the doctor said. Just get plenty of rest.
Find out anything, Sergeant Hadley?
Just what you already told me, ma'am.
What'd the doctor say? He wouldn't tell me anything.
He says it looks like amnesia.
Gee. I feel so sorry for her.
Funny first name she's got. Kendall. Ever know a girl by that name before?
No.
Me either. Can I use your phone?
Oh, go right ahead.
I got a hunch. I don't know if it's worth anything, but it doesn't cost anything. Hello, Standard? Let me have the editor, Mr. Jameson, please. He's a friend of mine. I've done him a few favors. Hello, Mr. Jameson. This is Sam Hadley at headquarters. Fine, thanks. You? Swell. Listen, Mr. Jameson, you know more about this town than anybody else. You ever meet anyone named Kendall Endicott? A girl? K, like in Kansas City. Yeah, a double L. Really? Well, yeah, sure. I'll hang on. Now we're getting somewhere.
You know who she is?
Well, not exactly, but he says the name rings a bell. He's going to check their morgue.
The morgue?
Newspaper morgue, lady, where they keep their records.
Oh, well, for a minute, I thought...
Yeah, I know what you thought.
Can I get you some tea or coffee?
Oh, don't bother.
Or how about something a little stronger? I think maybe I could find something.
I'm on duty, Mrs. Sims.
Oh, sure. But what harm could one little snort do?
Thanks. Hello? Yes, Mr. Jameson. No kidding. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Thanks a lot. You've been a lifesaver. I'll drop by and give you the whole story. Right, so long.
What'd you say?
Plenty. You know who your guest is, lady? Kendall Endicott, heiress to a couple of $1 million.
You Sergeant Hadley?
That's me. Who are you?
Clay Endicott, Sergeant. I've never been so glad to see anyone in my life. What'd you say your name? Endicott? That's right, Kendall's husband. I just heard about it on the radio in my hotel room. I just got to town 2 hours ago. The broadcast didn't give any details, just to contact you. Now, where is she? How is she? Can I see her right away, please?
Sure. She's over on Cliffside Drive, Summer Colony, the other side of town. I'll take you over in a squad car. You can fill me in on some details on the way over.
Is that you, Claire?
Sure is, honey, and do I have a surprise for you? Look who's here, hon.
Oh, you're the policeman, aren't you? Sergeant.
Hadley, ma'am. How are you feeling?
All right, thank you.
But look who else is here, Kendall.
I don't know what you mean.
Your husband.
My husband?
Oh, Candy, baby. Oh, darling, I'll never forgive myself for staying that extra day in San Francisco. I should have been with you. You see, Sergeant, it's the first time I let her take the Jag out alone. It's an awful lot of car for a beginner to handle.
Yeah. Mrs. Endicott. Don't you recognize him?
No. Honey, it's me, Clay. You have to remember, darling. You don't just wipe out 3 years like that. Now think, darling. You were to meet me at 3:30 today here in town at the Waltham Hotel. We were going to the real estate office together. Now, please, darling, try to remember.
I am. I'm sorry, but I can't. I can't.
Sergeant.
Yeah.
Will it be all right if I talk to her a little while, alone? I won't be long.
Up to her.
Darling?
All right.
Maybe if I talk about us, some of it'll come back, darling. Now, we got back from Europe in April. Oh, no, I guess I'd better start.
Gee, such a pity her not recognizing him. How'd you run into him, Sergeant?
Other way around. He heard the 5 o'clock bulletin on the radio.
Well, what are they doing here anyway? I mean, he said something about San Francisco.
He says they came down to buy the old Murchison estate.
Oh, what's that?
Big place with its own private beach down past the yacht club.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it from the road. Gee. Hey, I wonder how come she came down ahead of him.
Well, he says there's a kind of deadline on the property. They wanted to get their bid in first.
Oh, I didn't even know she was married.
Oh, yeah, that checks out.
She's really rich, isn't she?
So they tell me.
That Mr. Endicott, he's kind of cute.
Smart, too. It takes brains to marry money like she's got.
Oh, Sergeant, they could be in love.
Didn't say they weren't. Speaking of husbands, where's yours? Didn't you both come down for a vacation?
We did. It just so happens that Joe's idea of a vacation is to watch baseball on TV in some nice dim bar with a cold bottle of beer in front of him. He could have done that back in Redwood City, but oh no, he's got to save up all year to go somewhere else to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. You still here, Sergeant?
Thought you might want to lift back to town.
That's very kind of you, but Mrs. Sims, would it be too much of an imposition if I stayed here with my wife?
Stayed here?
I can sleep on the couch right here. Naturally, I'd pay you for your trouble.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Why should you be imposed on for nothing? It's only that my wife feels at home here. I'd rather not move her unless I had
Oh,
to.
he doesn't, does he, Sergeant?
Not up to me, up to you.
It's fine with me, Mr. Endicott. Really it is. And I know it'll be a real comfort to... Mrs. Endicott.
I understand the doctor's returning in the morning. If she's not better then, he can probably recommend a good private nursing home.
Well, looks like it's settled.
I certainly appreciate all you've done, Sergeant.
Mrs. Sims, I'll check in tomorrow morning.
All right, Sergeant. Bye.
Well, I would say so, my dear Mrs. Sims. I would say very well indeed.
You can cut the act now. What about her?
I'll sell her. It'll take time, but I'll sell her.
I don't trust that cop.
We have one thing in our favor, sweetie pie, time. It's after 6 o'clock. Offices are closed. By the time the worthy sergeant can check more closely into my story, and he's going to, our little pigeon will be plucked and we'll be long gone.
How far have you got?
To the point where even if she doesn't remember me, she's willing to take my word that I'm her dearly beloved.
You would bring up the check?
Sweetie pie, I know this was all your idea, but you can certainly trust me to follow orders. Naturally, I mentioned the check. Casually. I told her we had only until tomorrow morning to close the deal with a down payment of $40,000. Otherwise, the real estate broker has another offer he's obligated to honor.
What'd she say?
Nothing. I'll bring it up again when I take her supper tray in.
You?
Obviously, sweetie pie. Who else but her adoring spouse? Don't worry, we'll get the money.
How suspicious you think that cop is?
Suspicion is a congenital weakness of all cops. And I don't think he actively suspects me. And after all, my story was quite plausible.
Thanks to me.
I doff my hat, my dear, thanks to you.
Like I always said, you got to be prepared to grab your chance when it comes, because it goes by real fast, and they never come again.
Spoken like the true philosopher you are, my love. I wonder...
You wonder what?
What it feels like to be really married to $2 million.
You keep your mind on the job. You're already married. And don't you forget who to.
How could I, sweetie pie? You never give me a chance. Enjoy your breakfast, my dear?
It was all right. I wasn't very hungry.
We have to keep up our strength, don't we, darling?
Clay, will I regain my memory?
Of course, Candy. Oh, it may take a little time, but what difference does that make? What are a few days, or even a week or two, as long as I'm around to take care of you?
Please be patient with me.
Oh, darling, how could I be anything else? All I care about is your getting well.
Tell me more about us. Where were we married?
Believe it or not, at the American Embassy in London.
London?
Mm-hmm. The ambassador himself married us. And you stood right there in front of him in your stocking feet.
Oh, I didn't.
You sure did. Later, you told me why. For good luck.
Good luck?
Uh-huh. You told me that as a little girl, whenever you wished very hard for something, you always took your shoes off and squinted up your face and turned around twice.
Well, did I squint up my face?
You sure did.
But I didn't turn around twice, did I?
Only because I stopped you. Darling, let me tell you, as hard as you were wishing, I was wishing even harder for our happiness, our life together.
Oh, Clay.
Oh, my love. Before I forget it, Candy, I'd better take the check now.
Is the house really worth that much?
It's a steal, darling, believe me. Here, make it out to cash. I figured if I walk in waving a lot of greenbacks at the broker, he might come down in price a little. Nothing like a long look at real paper money to soften a man. Oh, here, use my pen, Candy.
You won't be gone long, will you, Clay?
Only long enough to transact our business, honey.
It's funny. I've only just met you. I mean...
I know what you mean.
And already I feel as if I'd known you for years. Hurry back.
Excuse me, folks, but the doctor's here.
He can come right in, Mrs. Sims. I was just going.
In just a moment, we will return for the concluding act of Suspense.
You're dressed. What do you think you're doing?
Oh, I feel so much better, Claire. I thought I'd like to sit out here with you. Clay's not back yet, is he?
Well, he's probably on his way.
You don't mind my being out here, do you?
Mind? Of course not. It's just that... Well, did the doctor say it'd be all right?
Oh, yes. He said it might do me good.
What else did he say about your memory?
He says my only problem is to get over the shock of the accident.
Did he say when that would be?
He thought very soon.
Hi, Mrs. Sims. How's my... Kendall, what are you doing out of bed?
Well, the doctor said I could, Clay. I feel ever so much better.
Oh, great.
Have you seen the real estate man?
Sure. Just came from there.
Did he reduce his price?
No. He wouldn't budge. I'm sorry, darling. I'm not the judge of character I thought I was. Still, it's a real steal.
Almost, anyway.
Well, what are you smiling for?
Because I'm so grateful to you.
Well, nonsense. I haven't done anything.
Oh, you're wrong, darling. Without you, I couldn't have done any of this.
What are you talking about?
Game's up, Mrs. Sims. Or whatever your real name is.
What?
In words of one syllable, you've lost. Now play, darling. Or is it Mr. Sims? I'll take that 40,000 that makes him such a pretty bulge in your jacket pocket.
But, darling, I told you
You've
that
told me so many things, haven't you? The 40,000, please.
Don't look at me.
All right, my dear. As you guessed, I didn't actually turn the money over to the agent. I thought if we waited until you were well enough to see him, you might be able to get a better price.
You don't give up easily, do you?
I beg your
The
pardon?
money.
Here. You needn't bother counting it. It's all there.
Oh, you don't mind if I run my fingers through it, do you?
Who are you?
How very discerning of you, dear Claire. You put your finger right on it.
You mean she's not Endicott?
That's exactly what she means, darling. I do have to be on my way, but why not tell you? Especially after all your hard work. My name is Taylor, Ruth Taylor. I'm Mrs. Endicott's private secretary. Convenient, huh? Oh, she's still in New York. I came on ahead. And by the time she arrives, I have recovered my memory, and I'll be horribly appalled at what I've done. But then, it wasn't really my fault, was it? Everyone told me I was Kendall Endicott. As for the money, I think I'll lose it. The whole idea is perfectly dreadful, but Mrs. Endicott will understand. She trusts me. And 40,000 doesn't mean so very much to her.
You can't get away with it.
But, Claire, dear, I already have. And you and that handsome impersonator can't do anything about it without implicating yourself, can you? Bye-bye. Thanks for everything.
Hey, what about us? Don't we deserve at least a cut?
You deserve what you're getting, a chance to clear out before my employer shows up. Or would you rather I call that nice Sergeant Hadley? Extortion is a serious offense, I imagine. And who can prove I didn't have amnesia and didn't just recover? Oh, please don't bother seeing me out.
There goes 40 grand.
Now stop moaning. We lost, period. Now let's get back and get out of here.
But it looked like such a perfect setup.
It did, but it wasn't, so shut up about it. From now on, we stick to the horses.
And stay broke, huh?
It's better than the stretch in the pen. Now, come on, let's move. Uh-oh. It's not locked. Why, Sergeant Hadley, this is a pleasant surprise.
My God, it's the girl. The car's gone. She take off?
Not more than 30 seconds ago. You just missed her.
Has something happened, Sergeant?
You still playing games, buddy? Give me Rizzo. Al Hadley. Just missed the girl. Put out an alarm. Pale blue Jaguar, Nevada license 25KE. Yeah, I'll wait right here. Well, you almost got away with it, didn't you, Johnny?
Who?
John Edgar Bell. That's your real name, isn't it? And this is your wife, Miriam?
Never mind us, that girl. She's not Kendall
Yeah,
Endicott.
save your breath. We know. The real one's flying in tonight. Let's get back to you two. How much did you take her for?
Well, that's it. She took us. She took the real Kendall Endicott.
What?
For 40,000. I cashed the check and brought the money back to her, didn't I, Mir?
That's the truth, Sergeant. Can't we make a deal with you? If you take us in, it'll only cost the county the expense of the trial and tie up a lot of your time. But if you let us go, we'll be out of town in an hour and you'll be rid of us for good.
After all, Sergeant, we've never gotten in trouble before, and, well, can't we have a second chance?
A chance to take somebody else?
No, to stick to what we know, playing the horses.
Hadley. Yeah, Al.
What?
Where? Oh, brother. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What happened?
The Jaguar. Crashed through a retaining wall and ended up 500 feet down the canyon.
What about the girl?
She's had her last accident.
What about us?
You're coming down to headquarters for a search. If you're clean, I'll give you an hour to be out of town.
Oh, thanks.
Save it. I've seen grifters like you before. You'll try your luck again sometime, someplace. Just make sure it's a long, long way from here.
Suspense. You've been listening to The Girl in the Powder Blue Jag, written for Suspense by Walter Black. Now, in just a moment, the names of our players and a word about next week's story of Suspense. Featured in tonight's story were Rita Lloyd, Jane Rose, and Bob Dryden. Listen again next week when we return with another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Arrest for Emily by Beryl Firestone.
Warren, give me that pile of socks on the table.
Yeah, my dear.
My dear, what a laugh you are, Orrin Reed. 30 years of slaving on a dried-up farm. 30 years of hating what you do and the woman you're living with. 30 years of debt and drudgery, and you still say, my dear, weak. Weak and a man of habit. That's what you are, Orrin Reed.
Don't start tonight, Emily. There's paperwork to be done, so let's not start it tonight, please.
Paperwork figuring out your $1 million income tax. Paperwork. Blast.
Huh? What's that?
Snap my finger with a needle. Darning socks and cooking meals with not enough food, talking to myself, living in this miserable place. I'm dried up too, Warren. Just like the land out there, dried up and tired.
We do the best we can, Emily. The good Lord made it so it'd be hard for us. There's no use trying to make it out. It can be any other way.
The good Lord. It's you made it hard for us, Orrin Reed. The poor man in spirit, the poor one, and what he can do. Where are you going?
I don't want to listen no more. I'm going out for a minute.
You come back here. You listen to what I say. A poor man. You hear me, husband? A poor man, a poor farmer. There's nothing inside you, Orrin Reed. Do you listen to what I say?
No, Emily, no more tonight.
Oh, there'll be more tonight, and the next night, and the next. Till you're in your grave with the words I say spilling out of your head. Giving the only life to the land. Now, you come back here. You listen to me.
Shouldn't say them things. Shouldn't talk to me that way. There were times you had love for me when things in this house were better. And she looked at me the way a woman looks at a man. She don't look at me at all no more. Around me, through me, but never at me. Well, you got to stop talking to me that way, Andy. I ain't going to listen no more. You might just as well not talk to me that way.
Orrin, get back in here.
You've got to stop talking to me that way, Emily.
I'll talk whatever way the words come out. If the truth comes out in bitter words, then that's the way I'll talk. Now get the coffee.
Well, I'll not hear you anymore, Emily. I'll not hear you.
Oh, you hear all right. Whatever else you got good ears in your head. Ears for listening to what I say.
No, I'll not hear anymore. She won't talk to me anymore. Saying things no man should have made listen to.
You putting the fire under that coffee?
Land is dry, land is cracked. Well, that ain't my fault. I do the best I know how. It's no fault of mine the crops grow sick and the animals grow thin. Got no right to fault in things not my doing.
Hurry up out there.
Man needs some rest. Man shouldn't have to hear that hardness for 30 years. He should be able to sit with this woman in quiet.
Orrin, what's keeping you?
No more, Emily. No more.
What's that you say?
No more. I'll hear no more.
You making that coffee hot? What are you doing with that rifle?
No more. You'll not talk to me that way again.
That rifle away, you crazy old fool, and get the coffee.
There'll be no more your hatred in this house, Emily. No more your nagging talk and hard words.
Orrin!
No more! No more. In the morning, I'll put you to rest, Emily. I'll give you a good grave in the barn, covered with lies, so she can be part of the land. But now, I'll rest a bit. Have my coffee.
never get away with it. What'd they say?
Sounds scared to death. What's that? You said? I thought he jumped right through the phone.
Oh, Dad, you're a riot. Now, really, you better be getting home. It's late.
Okay. How about a good night kiss, Mary Lee?
Now, Dad.
Good night, Mary Lee.
Good night. Don't forget our date.
I won't. Good night. You'll never get away with that. Local Farm Supply Warehouse. Oh, hello, Arn. This is Loper. What? What was that you wanted? 200 pounds of lye. Well, it's after 8 now, and Ted hasn't even started yet. He's got to make 4 or 5 stops first, but I guess he can get to your place around 11. All right, Arn. I'll put it on your bill. Bye. Ted! Ted, come on in here before you leave. You called me, what? I called. You put 200 pounds of lye on the truck and take it out to the Reed place. I promised you'd be there before noon.
The Reed place? But, Pa, that's on the other side of the ridge, and I got a date with Mary Lee for lunch at noon. I'll never be back in time.
You do as you're told. Get that lye on the truck and get it out to Arn Reed before noon. Here?
Oh, but, Pa,
no
come on.
buts. You think you're going to be late? You can call Mary Lee from Mr. Reed. She'll wait.
Can't Mr. Reed wait till this afternoon?
Now, what's got into you, boy? Now, you get those orders out and stop arguing. You'll really be late. Too hot today. Just sit here in the barn and wait. 11 o'clock. Young Loper should be here soon. Maybe this afternoon will be cooler. I'll get your grave done, Emily. You'll have a decent place to rest. And, Emily, you can't scare me anymore. Trying to make me think I had a phone call last night. I knew it was you. No, Emily, your evil's done. I won't listen to you. Lying on the floor in the parlor, a quiet tongue, still and quiet. You can't make me listen to things that never happened. You're going to have company, old Sarah. Emily's going to join you here in the barn. She'll be here before morning to rest with your foal that died and the chickens never born and dogs long past. More lodgers for the barn.
Miss Reed! Hey, Miss Reed! You around?
In here, young Loper. In the barn.
Oh. Hot enough for you, Mr. Reed. I'll bet it's 100 in the shade.
You bring the lye?
Yeah, sure did. Where do you want it?
In here, in the barn.
Okay. I'll get it off the truck.
I'm going to dig up the potatoes out back there, and then I'm going to turn the soil, and that's why I need it, see? I'm going to turn the soil.
What? You'll never get away with it.
What's that? What'd you say?
Well, I said you'll never get away with it. Why, you don't have a third what you'll need for that job. Tell you what, I'll bring you another 500 pounds tomorrow. That should do it.
So you don't think I'll get away with it?
Oh, no, sir. Not with this much.
Then you didn't lie to me, Emily. There was a call. Boy,
Did you say something, sir?
Boy, why don't you pump the house with me? I got some cold beer in the icebox. Go right well on a hot day like this. Take the dryness out of your mouth. Huh?
Well, I don't think I want any beer, sir, but I tell you what I'd like to do, if you don't mind. I'd like to call my girl and tell her I'm going to be a little late for our date. If you don't mind.
I don't mind a bit. You just do that now. We'll both go up the house, and while you make your call, I'll do what I have to do. Phone's over there on the corner table.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Reed. I'll just be a minute.
Take your time, boy. Lots of it.
Hello?
Mary Lee?
Oh, Ted. Oh, thank heavens you called. Oh, it's terrible, Ted. Just terrible.
here right away.
Well, hold on, honey. Hold on. What's so terrible? What's happened?
Oh, Ted, it's your Pa.
Pa? Well, what about Pa? What's happened to Pa?
There's been an accident.
Accident?
He's hurt bad, Ted, in the county hospital. They called me about a half hour ago to find out if I knew where you were. He wants you, Ted. He's bad.
I'll leave right now. You tell Pa I'm leaving right now. I'll see you at the hospital. Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed, I'm going. I've got to get back to town right away.
Now, wait. Hold on, boy. You ain't going nowhere.
Mr. Reed, I've got to. It's my Pa. He's hurt.
You stay where you are, boy. Anything save you.
Mr. Reed, put that rifle away. I've got to get to town. My
I said, hold, boy. You ain't leaving.
I don't know what you're doing. But I got to go see my Pa.
Stop, boy. Stop. Don't start out that door. I told you, stop. I told you. Now, the next shot's going to be closer, boy. There's things to do. I don't want to kill you now.
Kill me? What for? What's it all about?
You close the door, boy. Close the door and come in here.
But please, Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed, my Pa's hurt bad. He's at the county hospital hurt bad, and he needs me. I've got to go and get to him.
That's a shame. Certainly is. I'm right sorry about it. But it would have been better if a strong-backed boy like you hadn't been snooping around where it didn't belong, saying things he had no right to say.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You like to talk on the telephone, don't you? Like to call people in the middle of the night? Tell them things you got no right knowing about?
What things? Talking about what
Don't think I'll get away with it, do you, young lover?
Talking about... Last night... Well, Mr. Reed, I'm sorry, but that was just a big joke. I was just playing a big joke. I didn't mean nothing. Please, Mr. Reed, let me go.
So you can bring the sheriff here?
Sheriff? Why would I want to bring the sheriff here?
Not so smart, boy. Pretending you don't know anything about it after calling me last night.
I told you, that was just a joke.
And now you know you're going to help me. You're going to carry a dig. Strong back like yours. Should be able to get the whole thing done in right smart time.
Carry dig, Mr. Reed?
In the parlor, boy. Get in the parlor. That's where she is. Right where she was when you called last night. Now get in the parlor.
Don't you understand? My Pa's hurt. I gotta get to him. He's over to the county hospital.
Parlor, I told you, in the parlor. Now the next shot will be closer. And the next one even closer. Until... Now you get in the parlor.
Mrs. Reed. Mr. Reed. She's sick. She's all in a heap on the floor.
Pick her up.
She's dead. She's been shot.
You're trying to make out like you didn't know, huh? Pick her up, boy, and carry her out the lawn.
I didn't know. I didn't. Honest, Mr. Reed, I didn't. It was such a joke.
Now you know for sure there ain't no joke out to Horn Reed's place, huh? Now pick her up. Pick her up. Take her to the barn. And we'll give Emily a decent resting place.
Dr. Murray, how is he? Will he...
Well, it's not too good, Mary Lee, but there is hope. He does want to see Ted. Did you get in touch with him?
I talked to him just before I came over here. He's on his way over. Can I see Mr. Loper, Doctor, please?
No, I'm afraid not, Mary Lee. You better wait out here for Ted.
Yes, sir.
Ted. Ted, boy. I better get in there. Ted. Oh, it's me, Mr. Loper, Dr. Murray. Ted's on his way here now. I want to see my boy. I want to tell him. Try to be quiet. Just try and rest. But I've got to tell Ted. When his ma died, I tried to do all I could. Tried to be everything. I got to tell him how I tried. Tell him I love him. He's a good boy, Doctor. Ted's a good boy. You've got to rest, Mr. Loper. Come on, no more talk, please, now. I want to see my boy. to sleep now, Mary Lee. He'll sleep for a while. We're doing all we can. Look, as soon as Ted gets here, you have him get in touch with me.
Yes, Doctor. Oh, Ted, hurry. Your pa needs you.
They're over there, boy. Near the stall. Now take that shovel and start digging.
Please let me go, Mr. Reed. I promise I won't tell. My pa's hurt. Please, Mr. Reed.
Dig, boy, and dig deep enough and wide enough for two. Near 1 o'clock. You ain't done too good for a boy with such a strong back.
Mr. Reed, please let me go to my pa. Come with me if you like. I'll come back with you. Do anything you want, I promise. But let me see him, please. Mr. Reed, please.
There's some things a man's got to do. Stop an evil lying mouth, protect himself, work his farm.
But I love my pa. He needs me.
I love too, boy. I love this farm, and it needs me. I have to tend it. Nurse it, make it strong. Help me, Pa! It was Emily kept the farm from being strong and healthy. She said so. She was all dried up, and she made the land dry up. And me. And now it'll be different. Now dig, young roper. And we'll get on with it.
What time is it, Doctor?
It's almost 1:30. What time did you say it was when Ted called?
11:30. Nearly 2 hours ago. Oh, Doctor, he's all right, isn't he? Ted's all right. He should have been here long ago.
Ted's all right, Mary Lee. We'd have heard if he weren't. Maybe the truck broke down in this heat. But he'll be here, don't worry. Don't worry.
I can't anymore, Mr. Reed. I'm sick with worry. I can't do any more. Go ahead and kill me. I don't care now. Do it now.
It's the heat, boy. You take a rest. There's time. No, take a rest for a while, and then you can get on.
Please let me go to my pa. Let me see him.
Take a rest, boy.
He needs me.
Did him need you, or you him? Well, boy, which is it?
It's both. You can't live without love and needing. Without it, I'd be just as soon dead. So kill me now. Or let me go to my pa.
Man can't live with hate. That's why I had to stop Emily. There was no love here, and I had to make room for it.
But, Mr. Reed, I've got love. I don't have to look for it, and it's killing me not to show it. So don't make no difference. You kill me or I die inside. Please, please.
I'd help you if I could. It's not easy to watch a thing die inside. I did it. For 30 years I did it, and I know how hard a thing it is. But what can I do? The farm would die if I wasn't here. Like, I got a lot to do. The grave will be finished, and the lye poured, and I can work in peace.
The lie, Mr. Reed. If you use a lie, they'll know you aren't telling the truth when you say your order wasn't delivered.
Huh?
When you call the warehouse and tell them your order's not come, and the lie's not on the truck, they'll know you're not telling the truth.
But it's watching what you say, but I need it. The lie will make you and Emily part the soil.
Let me go, please.
No, what am I going to do?
Mr. Reed, please let me go.
I need it.
I've got to get to my pa.
Emily, what should I do?
Oh!
Boy, what are you doing?
I don't care what happens to me. I've got to.
Let go of the gun. Let go there.
Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed.
It's all right, boy. Is it well? didn't mean... It's all right. It's all right. Go to your pa. Emily, why did I think I could let you rest alone? Why? Suspense.
You've been listening to Arrest for Emily, written for Suspense by Beryl Firestone. Heard in tonight's story were Abby Lewis as Emily, Bill Smith as Orrin, and Lee Graham as Mary Lee. Others in the cast included Larry Robinson and Ralph Bell. Listen again next week when we return with A Grave is for Sleeping by Edna Rowe. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
And now, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Tonight, Rakovsky Rubies by William N. Robeson.
This is a story of old Russia. Of Russia before Sputnik and Khrushchev and the Soviet. Of the Russia of resplendent Tsars and the hopeless characters of Dostoevsky. Our hero is such a character, intelligent but without hope. We shall call him Ivan Ivanovich. He is a student. His sweetheart we call Anna Petrovna. We find him in the Venice of the North before it was Leningrad, before it was Petrograd, when it was still gloriously named St. Petersburg. We find them in a basement room, furnished only with a bed and a chair and a stove. But there is no money for firewood, so they are cold. They are also hungry, and they are hopeless.
Hopeless. Utterly hopeless.
What is hopeless, Ivan Ivanovich?
Life, Anya Petrovna. The noblemen and their half-naked women dance the night away in their warm palaces while we sit outside and shiver. What have we got to live for?
Each other.
It is not...
It is not enough?
No, Anyushka. I would die for you. You know that.
But you would not live for me?
Living is more difficult. This is not living. This is existing like an animal.
But it will not always be like this. You will graduate from the university soon.
And then what? Position in a government office if my marks are good enough? If not the army? No, Anyushka. There's no place for me in this society without money, without a title.
You talk like a revolutionary.
Not me. Where did it get them, those anarchists who tried to kill the little father of all the Russias as he worshipped at Easter Mass last year? They're all dead. Or worse, they've been sent to Siberia for the rest of their lives. No. A Tsar is too mighty. He will not topple easily. They have no stomach for martyrdom. No, Anya. I'm only interested in myself. And you, of course. Anyushka. Do you love me?
You know I do.
Enough to wait for me?
Wait for you?
Yes, for 20 years.
20 years? Where are you going?
To prison.
What are you talking about, Ivan?
I have a plan that will make us rich 20 years from now. I'm going to steal a fortune.
Steal? But the police will arrest you.
Indeed. It is necessary to the plan that they do.
I do not understand you, Ivan Ivanovich.
I do not need your understanding, my little dove. Only your help. Will you help me?
Yes, Ivan, I will do anything you say.
Good. And you must get me an interview with your employer.
The Prince Bolini?
Yes.
Why do you want to see him?
I'm going to work for him.
You are?
Yes.
What will you do for him?
I don't know. Secretary, footman, valet. Whatever he needs me for. You will find out.
And so the devoted and willing Anna kept her tiny, close-set eyes open, and also her rather large ears. And she reported all she saw and heard to Ivan Ivanovich. At last, the day came.
Ivan Ivanovich Marusak, Anna has told me much of you. You're from the Volga?
Yes, Excellency.
You are graduating from the university?
Yes, Excellency.
And you are looking for a position?
With you, Excellency, as your secretary. I have all the qualifications, my grades at the university. And you are without the secretary at the moment.
Yes, I am without the secretary. The young man who has served me so well for the past several years was suddenly taken ill. So ill, he nearly died. It was almost as though he had been poisoned.
What a pity.
Anna speaks very highly of you. Consider it done. Only see that you don't become ill as your predecessor did.
Oh, no, Excellency. You need not worry. I am sure there is no danger of that.
Ivan Ivanovich insinuated himself into the good graces of the Prince Bolinin with the celerity and precision of a Potemkin taking over the court of Catherine. He soon knew all there was to know about the prince. All except one thing. The combination to his safe.
No, my dear Ivan Ivanovich, no one but I opened that strong box.
But, sire, what if you were to, God save you, die suddenly?
Then the secret would go to the grave with me.
And all that money?
It would no longer be my problem, would it?
No, but as your confidential secretary, it would be mine. I mean to pay off your creditors, to satisfy your heirs.
But it is not your problem now.
No, Excellency.
Then why worry about it, my little Ivan?
But Ivan did worry about it day and night. All those rubles, all those jewels, so close, just beyond that little iron door.
Anyushka, you are aware that the prince goes to his Veleta Lake on Friday.
So I have been told.
And does not return until Monday.
That is what they say.
Good. You go with him?
The whole household goes.
Good. All except me.
But Ivan...
I shall be taken ill.
But you will be all alone in the house.
Exactly.
Who will look after you?
I will look after myself, Anya. Don't worry about me. I will look after myself handsomely.
In just a moment, we will return for the second act of Suspense.
Next time you refresh, enjoy a frosty, ice-cold Pepsi-Cola.
Sociability, Charlie.
All right, Kay, how's this? Pepsi is light, refreshes without filling. You like to refresh? Have a Pepsi right now.
Well, offer it to everybody, Charlie.
I will. Enjoy Pepsi at the fountain. It's delicious at home, too. Have one at lunch or with a snack.
Charlie.
At the beach or at dinner. Wherever you go, wherever you're thirsty, Pepsi is there.
It's here, too, in our Be Sociable song.
Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi. Drink light, refreshing Pepsi. Stay young and fair and debonair. Be sociable, have a Pepsi.
For the weekend, have plenty of Pepsi around. Pick up an extra carton today. CK, I'm sociable.
With Pepsi, everyone is.
One of the imponderable conundrums of philosophy is the old chestnut which asks if a falling tree makes a sound if there is no one in the forest to hear it. No one knows the answer. And no one knows whether a muffled explosion was heard in the Marianskolia street that Sunday night so many years ago. For certainly there was no one about to hear it. Except Ivan Ivanovich, who stood in front of the Prince Bolinin's strong box as the smoke cleared away and feasted his eyes on the fortune which would buy his future. When the great bank of Byelorussia opened its doors Monday morning, its first customer was Ivan Ivanovich, burdened with 2 bulging valises.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you? I wish to rent a safe deposit box.
Your name, please.
Rakovsky. Pyotr Rakovsky.
Very well, sir. Here is your key.
Thank you. I may have to go on a long journey. My things will be safe?
Oh, yes, sir.
For how long?
We do not touch the conscience of any untrained boxers until 30 years have elapsed.
Good. I shall not be away that long.
But I do not understand.
You do not have to. Just take this key. Guard it with your life. Wear it on a string around your neck. Do not ever lose it. Do you understand?
Yes.
And one more thing. Remember the name Piotr Rakovsky.
Piotr Rakovsky?
Yes. Don't ever forget it.
But why?
Never mind why. Just don't forget that name. What is it?
Piotr Rakovsky.
Say it again.
Piotr Rakovsky.
Ivan Ivanovich!
It has come.
What has come, Ivan?
The moment of truth in which the great lie is told in silence.
I don't understand a word you are saying.
Good. Just remember that name.
Ivan Ivanovich!
I am coming, Your Excellency. At the word, Anya. Yes, Excellency?
I trust you're feeling better?
Feeling better?
Yes, you were ill when I went away.
Oh, yes. That, it passed. I am feeling fine now.
And you were here in the house the whole weekend?
Yes, Your Excellency.
You did not go out at any time?
No, Your Excellency.
Then perhaps you can explain this.
Explain what, Your Excellency?
Look, you dunderhead. Look for yourself. The strong box. It has been blown apart.
So it has?
What do you know about this?
Nothing, Your Excellency. Nothing at all.
But you admit that you were alone in the house the whole time. You must have heard something or seen something.
Nothing, Your Excellency.
It's impossible.
Nothing's impossible.
You are forcing me to believe that you know a great deal you're not telling.
If you are thoroughly convinced of that, you are at liberty to call the police.
Indeed I am, and I shall exercise that liberty at once.
The tribunal of the Tsar found themselves in a quandary. The accused would neither admit nor deny the crime. Yet the circumstances spoke for themselves in the loudest of tones. And so at last, the tribunal did just as Ivan Ivanovich hoped they would.
We find the defendant guilty and sentence him to 20 years at hard labor in the salt mines of Siberia.
Time is relative. For the child, a day is an eternity. For the old one, it is but a dull and painful tick of a faceless clock. In the salt mines of Siberia, time stands still. There, nothing happens. In the flickering torchlight, there is neither day nor night. In the constant, clammy 40-degree temperature, there is neither summer nor winter. The brain softens here. The mind wanders away and is lost. Unless a man has a dream.
A droshky with the finest of horses and a coachman and a great house in the town and another in the country.
Ah, Yuri, the millionaire, is counting his money again. Tell me when he gets to the dancing girl.
You laugh. Go on and laugh. You are the foolish one.
If you are so rich, what are you doing here?
I am here so I will be rich. I stole it. I am paying for it.
And where is this fortune of yours? While you are paying for it?
It is in a safe place, locked away, waiting for me to claim it.
It is all right, Ivan Ivanovich. We understand.
You understand why?
These salt mines. We all need something to help us get through. With you, it is this dream of riches. There is nothing wrong with it. It's good if it helps the days go by and fills the night with something more than the snores of your comrades.
But it's true, I tell you. I am rich. I have the money and the jewels. They're mine. They're hidden away, waiting for me.
I know, Tavarich. I know.
No, you don't. It's true. It's true. Why don't you believe me?
But no one would believe him. And as the years slowly passed, Ivan Ivanovich told his story less and less. And more he began to doubt it himself. At first, Anna had written to him, but then her letters came further and further apart, and at last ceased altogether. And Ivan Ivanovich was alone with a fading dream. But at last the day came when Ivan Ivanovich's account was settled, his debt to society paid. Look at him now, shuffling up the Mariamskolia Street, a graying, stoop-shouldered, middle-aged man. He stops at the door of number 33 and pulls the bell knob. The door is opened by a young girl with largish ears and eyes set too close together.
Shinka, you have not changed a bit. You are even prettier.
You must be mistaken. My name is Natasha.
Natasha? How old are you?
18.
Then your mother? Is her name Anya?
Yes, it is.
Is she home? Would you call her? I'm an old friend of hers.
Mama? Mama! Don, Natasha, I have ears to hear you with. What do you want?
There's an old man at the door. He says he's a friend of yours.
A friend of mine? I have no old men for friends. What is it? What do you want?
You do not remember me, Anya?
No, I never saw you before in my life.
You do not remember Ivan Ivanovich?
No, cannot be. I thought you were dead.
Is that why you married? You said you would wait for me.
A girl cannot wait her whole girlhood out.
You didn't wait very long.
I never expected you to come back.
So little faith. After all our plans. And the key. You still have the key?
What key?
The key I gave you. The key I told you to keep for me.
Oh, that key. My husband was jealous of it. He found it hanging around my neck on our wedding night.
Oh, no.
He yanked it off me. He threw it away.
Oh, no. The key to all my riches. I told you. You promised.
I never understood about that. Except it was dangerous. My man said it was dangerous when I told him about it.
Dangerous? It was the key to our life together.
It could have gotten me into trouble, receiving stolen goods or something, he said.
Your husband is a fool. At least the name. You remember the name?
What name?
When I gave you the key, I told you a name. I told you to repeat it after me. I told you to remember it always. Remember?
I remember you telling me.
Then what was the name?
I have not the slightest idea.
Oh, no. You have not forgotten.
Why should I remember?
I told you to.
But you did not tell me why. You said I needn't know. That I shouldn't have my head cluttered with such things. So, I did not clutter my head at all.
Yes. I said you were stupid then. Now the right. You are as stupid as your husband is a fool.
Careful, Ivan Ivanovich.
Fool, stupid.
Natasha, go fetch your father. He'll know how to deal with this madman.
Yes, Mama.
No, Anya, forgive me. I let myself go too far. Forgive me. And just remember that name. I will give you a third of all my wealth if you will only remember that name.
I have not the slightest idea.
You must. Without the name, I cannot realize the fortune. You must. You must.
I cannot, Ivan. I've forgotten it completely.
I will give you half on Nushka. Half of it all for the name.
It is no use. 20 years is too long a time.
You drive a hard bargain. Very well. 3/4 of the rubies and jewels are yours. Just to remember the name. Remember it, Anya! Remember it! Remember it!
Oh, me, you maniac. I don't remember, I tell you. I can't remember.
In just a moment, we will return for the concluding act of Suspense.
Now here are Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
Bergen, why did you stop the car here?
I want to talk to that farmer. Oh, mister. Oh, you call me? Mortimer Snare. Oh, where? Oh, that's me. Are there any General Motors dealers around here? No, but we got some Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac dealers, though, and some Chevy and GMC truck dealers, too. Well, Mortimer, those are all General Motors dealers. No! Well, what do you want to see them all for? Well, I only want to see one for guardian maintenance. Do they make that car, too? No, that's a service that's available only at General Motors dealers' service departments. Oh, I see. Yes. And right now, they're featuring complete lubrications, quality appearance services, brake adjustments, and front-end inspections. It's quality work performed by GM-trained servicemen at a fair price. Well, that makes good sense even to me.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you? I want to speak to someone about the safe deposit box. Yes, sir? I have a box here. I rented it 20 years ago. I've been out of the country and I have lost the key. Well, if you can identify... Yes. It was on the first Monday in March, 20 years ago. You just look up your records. Well, I suppose we could go about it that way. What is your name? I don't remember. Amnesia or something. A mental block. I don't remember.
I'm sorry. There is nothing I can do until you do remember.
A bitter wind swept down from Lake Ladoga, carrying night and snow out of the north, as Ivan Ivanovich stepped out the great bank of Byelorussia into the empty street. Empty like his life. Useless, meaningless. And the sooner over, the better. Ivan Ivanovich shuffled across the wide boulevard to the bridge, where Katerina Street crosses the River Nevia. And here he stood, looking down on the black, freezing water, choked with cakes of ice slowly slipping seaward. Ivan Ivanovich was numbed in body and in spirit. As a person apart, he watched himself climb to the top of the parapet, stand irresolutely for an instant, lose his balance, slip, and plummet into the black and icy water. The shock of the freezing water brought him back to his senses. He flailed his arms widely.
Help! Help! Help!
And then, in a blinding flash, he remembered.
Rakovsky! Rakovsky! Help! Help! Help!
But no one heard above the whining of the Arctic wind. And alone there in the icy water, Ivan Ivanovich fought vainly to save himself and his glorious memory of the name. But there was too much against him. Time and his age and the cold of the Russian winter. And so it was that Ivan Ivanovich died by drowning with his now useless alias on his lips.
Suspense.
You've been listening to Rakovsky Rubies, written for Suspense by William N. Rowe.
Suspense. A statement of fact by E. Jack Newman. The most lurid of crimes is the crime of passion. No mere bank robbery or stock swindle can compete for newspaper space with a nice, juicy love nest murder. Our story concerns itself with the murder which criminologists would classify as a crime of passion. But in fact, it is just the opposite. A crime of no passion, a negative murder, committed because passion has fled and love was dead. A homicide without hope.
It is the finding of this coroner's jury that Robert Ames Dudley met his death at the hand of his wife, Ellen Randall Dudley. In view of the evidence, the jury recommends that said Ellen Randall Dudley be taken into custody and held for action by the grand jury.
Well, Chris, just as you predicted. They couldn't have arrived at any other verdict. Now, all the police have to do is find her. She'll show up. An international beauty with a face as well known as a movie star's. How far can she get before she's recognized?
Oh, a defendant that famous could be the making of the prosecutor who convicted her.
You're reading my mind, John.
But how could you...
Easy. With a little help from a pal.
Well, sure, I'll be glad to help, but what makes you think you can be the next DA? There are other men in the office with lots longer suits.
The man that gets to Ellen Randall Dudley first can be the next district attorney. Don't you realize that his name, yes, and his picture, will be linked with her in newspaper stories all over the world?
Oh, sure.
First things first. I'll have a warrant for her arrest issued by our office. And then you and I have got to use every pipeline we have into the police and sheriff's office. I want to know the minute she's picked up.
Chris, I've watched you pull off some pretty fast deals ever since we were in law school. But
fast deals? You hurt my feelings, John. I'm merely doing my duty as a servant of the people. Oh, yeah, Johnny.
I'm sorry to wake you in the middle of the night.
That's all right. What's up?
I'm down at the sheriff's office. They picked up Ellen Dudley a half an hour ago, out in Allenview. She was hiding in the restroom of an all-night bus station.
Good. I'll be right down.
The sheriff's holding her incommunicado, Chris.
That's bad.
You have to work fast on this one.
Yes, I know. Listen, can you get to the sheriff?
I can try.
Get to him. And tell him the district attorney will hold him personally responsible for the conduct of his office and his officers in this situation. Remind them that the accused is the state's prisoner, not the county's.
Yeah, Chris, but he can still hold her legally for 48 hours.
I know.
And he's coming up for re-election.
I know. You just get the word to him. I'll be there in less than a half hour.
Sorry. No comment. Now, let me through, please. I'm sorry. I have nothing to say at this time.
You didn't waste any time, Chris.
I can't afford to. How did the papers get in on this?
The sheriff called them after I told him you were on your way down.
Publicity, huh?
Every little bit helps during election year. You ought to know.
Yeah. Where's Miss Dudley?
In there with him.
Where's she been these last 3 days?
I don't know. She isn't talking, at least to me.
Well, she'll talk to me.
Just a minute. The sheriff left orders that he's not to be disturbed.
What's your name?
Deputy P.G. Thaler.
Mr. Thaler, I want you to go and stand by that door over there.
Huh?
No one, absolutely no one, is to come through that door until I say so.
I take my orders from Sheriff Morrow. Thaler, I wanted. Hey, I thought I told you I didn't want anyone around here.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Who are you?
Dale Christian, Deputy District Attorney.
Oh. Hey, Mr. Bradford here said you were on the way down. Now, we can handle this situation all right, Mr. Christian.
Is Mrs. Dudley in there?
Yes.
Is she guarded?
No need to
Get in
guard
there,
her.
John. Don't take your eyes off her.
Right. Now, look here.
Now, you look here, Sheriff. You're going to do as I say.
Just a minute there, Bradford. He has no right to go into my office.
He has every right to go in there, and I'll show you why. Here. See this? It's a warrant issued yesterday afternoon for the arrest of Ellen Randall Dudley. When you see that seal and that signature, your authority is automatically superseded.
No one comes in here and tells me how to run my job.
I'm telling you. You're trying to get your name and picture in every newspaper in the country at the expense of this case, and I'll have no more of it. Now, this is no pressman's holiday. If you have any brains at all, you'll take Mr. Thaler here and go outside and get rid of those reporters as fast as you can.
I'll take action against you for this, Mr. Christian.
Do that, Sheriff, and see where it'll get you. Good morning, Mrs. Dudley.
Yes?
My name is Christian, Mrs. Dudley. I'm the Deputy District Attorney. All right, John.
What are you going to do?
Just take a few notes, Mrs. Dudley.
What kind of notes?
Mr. Bradford is also from my office. He's here to take notes on what you say to me, Mrs. Dudley.
Oh.
I'm obligated to warn you that whatever you say right now may be used later in the court. You don't have to talk to me unless you want to. Do you understand that?
Yes.
This won't take long. I'd just like to get your story in your own words.
Pardon me.
Yes?
I don't understand you, Mr. Christian. You just told me that anything I tell you may be used against me in court.
Yes.
Well, then, to be on the safe side, I shouldn't tell you anything.
Mrs. Dudley, listen to me. Now, listen carefully. Yesterday afternoon, I attended a coroner's inquest inquiring into the death of your husband, Robert Ames Dudley.
Yes?
A coroner's jury there determined that Mr. Dudley came to his death as the result of wounds inflicted by you, his wife. A hatchet was presented as evidence. Mr. Thomas Unger of the Police Crime Laboratory positively identified it as the murder weapon. Sergeant Victor Manning also testified, and he explained that several fingerprints on the murder weapon belonged to you. Two witnesses, your maid, Ethel Lee Barth, and a neighbor, Mrs. Frank Thompson, gave testimony that further incriminates you. Enough evidence was presented for the coroner's jury to recommend that you be taken into custody and held for the action of the grand jury. Do you understand what I've just told you?
Yes, I think so.
In a few days, the grand jury will meet and charge you with murdering your husband. There's no doubt that they will make that indictment, Mrs. Dudley. From there, you will be arraigned and later on taken into a court and tried. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Fine. Now, a frank, honest statement on your part before all of these things take place can save a great deal of pain on both sides. Such a statement from you right now may determine the disposition and the proper plea to be entered on your behalf.
What do you mean, Mr. Christian? Proper plea?
You murdered your husband on the night of the 13th. The sooner you admit that, the better off you'll be. You make a full confession, you sign it, you enter a plea of guilty, and I promise you I'll do all I can for you with the court. Okay?
Suppose I don't admit anything.
Then you can expect no clemency. And that, of course, is entirely up to you, Mrs. Dudley. But I must tell you that the death house in the state penitentiary is full of people who didn't listen to reason while they still had a chance. This is your chance, Mrs. Dudley, right here and now. Well?
I don't know what to do.
If you don't take my advice, they'll hang you. I promise you, Mrs. Dudley, they'll hang you as certainly as you're sitting in that chair. Well?
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Suppose you begin at the beginning.
The beginning? What was the beginning? I don't know.
Well, let's say, where did you meet your husband? It seems to me I read someplace that it was in Europe.
Yes, that's right. In the south of France. I had a villa on Cap Ferrat that summer.
What summer would that be?
1952.
Meet him through friends, did you?
Yes. At a gala in Monte Carlo. We were married 3 weeks later at the Mairie in Grasse.
Rather a short engagement, wasn't it?
It seemed an eternity at the time. I was fed up with European gentlemen, I suppose. Bored with the kind of men who put all women into 2 categories. Possible wives or possible mistresses. Roger was only interested in me as a wife. And he was so refreshing. So healthy. So American. You remind me of him a little. You look about the same age. He was 36.
I'm 34. But the marriage didn't work out the way you expected. I understand you and Mr. Dudley have been having trouble for some time.
Oh, yes. For years. I soon found out that although he wanted me as a wife, he wanted every other woman as a mistress.
And he drank?
He drank.
Last July, you had him arrested when he came home drunk and threatened you. Isn't that so?
Yes. But he got out of that very easily. They didn't do a thing to him. Roger was awfully good at talking himself out of things. Oh, he had a law degree, too, you know.
So I understand.
Roger never went into practice. He didn't have to. That was his trouble. His father left him quite a bit of money, and he simply didn't have to do anything at all.
Shall we get on with this, Mrs. Dudley? It's past 5 now.
5? I've been up all night long. This makes 4 nights in a row I've gone without sleep.
As soon as we finish here, you can get some sleep.
I don't feel one bit sleepy. When I first came here, I was dreadfully tired. I thought I could sleep for a week. But now I'm not the least bit tired or sleepy. Isn't that funny?
Now, if you'll just start with the events of that night.
What is today?
Friday.
I'd be playing bridge this afternoon. There's a dog show tomorrow evening I wanted to go to. I won't be able to go anywhere now. Do you feel sorry for me, Mr. Christian?
I beg your pardon?
Do you feel sorry for me?
Makes no difference how I feel, Mrs. Dudley. You're an accused prisoner. My job is to get a statement of fact from you. That's why I'm here.
Oh.
I've explained this once. I'm your friend here. In a courtroom, I'll represent the prosecution, and I'll do everything I can to see to it that you hang. Unless you make a complete confession now. Is that perfectly clear to you, Mrs. Dudley?
Yes. And if you have a record of always getting a conviction, that'll help you when you run for district attorney, won't it?
Mrs. Dudley, my professional career has nothing to do with this. If I weren't here talking to you, someone else from my office would be here. It's a job that has to be done.
But wouldn't it be better for you if you had more of an audience than Mr. Bradford over there? Wouldn't it be much better if you had me in a courtroom with reporters and photographers around...
Mrs. Dudley, do you want to talk to me now?
I don't mean to make you angry, Mr. Christian. But if all you've told me is true, you can hang me right now.
I certainly can.
Yet you're here to get my story. You must be uncertain about something.
I told you I'm trying to help you, Mrs. Dudley. But I warn you, I'm not uncertain about anything where you're concerned. Make no mistake about that. I have a duty to the people of this state to learn the facts of this case and present them before the court. I intend to do that with or without your cooperation. Well?
May I talk to you alone?
You understand why Mr. Bradford is here?
Yes. But I'd like to tell it to you alone. It can't possibly hurt anything to talk to you first, can it?
All right, John. Wait outside. I'll send for you when I need you.
Right, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, Mrs. Dudley. We're quite alone. What do you want to tell me?
I killed my husband.
Very well. Tell me how it happened.
I was having some people over for dinner that night. I was busy in the kitchen with the maid fixing dinner. When Roger came downstairs, I asked him to do a simple thing. Just a little thing. I asked him to start a fire in the fireplace. It was pretty chilly out. Fire always made that room look so warm and nice. Have you seen my house?
Yes, Mrs. Dunning. Go on, please.
He took so long down in the basement, getting things ready for the fire. And our guests were arriving at 7:30. So I asked him to come up and make some martinis and let the fire go for the moment. He called me a name.
Why?
I never knew why he did things like that. I went downstairs to ask him why he was so angry. And he called me another name. It wasn't just the name or him being angry. It was all of those things he had done to me before. The arguing and the fighting, the insults. When he started up the stairs, I picked up the hatchet and I hit him with it. He fell down.
Then what did you do?
I ran upstairs, put on my coat, and I left the house.
Where have you been these last 3 days?
I never left Allenview. I had a room at a motel last night. Then I thought I'd better get away. Go east, maybe. But somebody recognized me at the bus station.
Did you ever think about killing your husband before this?
Oh, yes.
Did you know you were going to kill him when you went down to the basement?
No.
Why did you kill him?
He took my life away from me, Mr. Christian.
I don't understand.
He took my life away from me. He stole my life.
I don't understand that, Mrs. Dudley.
When I went down the stairs that night and saw him standing there, I suddenly realized all he had taken from me. Everything that was young and fresh and wanting. And I despised him for it. So I killed him.
But why did you have to kill him? You could have divorced him, left him.
Don't you see what he had taken from me, Mr. Christian? There was nothing left for him to steal from me, or nothing left for me to give to another man. Are you married?
No, I'm afraid I've been too busy.
But then you wouldn't know what a man can take from a woman if... Mr. Christian, am I someone you'd want to be married to if this terrible thing hadn't happened? Am I someone you'd be proud to have for a wife?
Might be.
That's all a woman needs. To be wanted. Am I old and ugly, unattractive? Am I shallow or flighty? Then look at me, Mr. Christian.
I am.
No. Stand up, please. Look at me. Close.
Yeah.
Would you want to be loved by me?
You're very beautiful, Mrs. Dudley.
Have you any idea what it means to be a beautiful woman, Mr. Christian? To be admired by every man and envied by every woman, and never to be sure why? Oh, how many times have I heard those words, I love you. I wondered what they meant. What was love? My face? My figure? My artificial makeup? My Balenciaga gown? Or me? Maybe you can give me the straight answer, Mr. Christian. I haven't been able to get to the hairdressers recently. I've run out of lipstick. I'm afraid that this suit needs pressing. Would you want to be loved by me, Mr. Christian?
Yes, I would.
Well, I was nothing to Roger Dudley, nothing. And my love was nothing to him. I was a fixture, a decoration, an animal. And he took all of it. My love and my life. And then he stood at the bottom of the stairs and called me a name.
Mrs. Dudley, listen to me. Now listen to me. No one saw this happen. The maid was upstairs in the kitchen. Mrs. Thompson only heard it from next door. Now listen to me. You can claim that you did it in self-defense. He came at you and you picked up the hatchet and you hit him with it to protect yourself. You tell it that way when Mr. Bradford comes back in here. There are a dozen good men in the state who'd be glad to represent you in court with a story like that. I'll be opposite them. You can get off. He made you kill him because it was either him or you, and you ran afterwards because you were frightened. In the end, you'll be charged with second-degree murder, and at the most, you'll get a suspended sentence. Don't you understand what I'm telling you? You can be free.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Christian.
All right, let's have Mr. Bradford in here now, please.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Hold it.
I can never be free.
What are you talking about?
You haven't understood a thing I've told you, have you, Mr. Christian? He took my life away from me a long time ago. Can't you see, Mr. Christian, I don't have any life to live now?
Mrs. Dudley, you have everything to live for. Look, you're young and beautiful, and you want and need all the things that life can give you.
Too late, Mr.
No,
Christian.
it's not too late. You must listen to me. You're too valuable a person, too desirable, too beautiful to die. You must live.
Why?
For me, for us. You need to be loved, and you need me. God help me, I need you. I need you. I need you.
A few minutes ago, you were telling me about your duty to the people of this state, Mr. Christian. Tell me about it now.
Yeah?
All right, send in Mr. Bradford.
I wanted to talk to you alone like this to make sure I was right. You're no better than he was, Mr. Christian. You'd take a woman and do the same thing to her that he did to me. Until you kissed me just then, I wasn't a person to you. I was an animal. A trapped animal. And if I let you help me escape from this trap, I just be escaping into your life. Only you're Roger Dudley.
Okay, Chris? Chris? Are you ready to make your statement of fact, Mrs. Dudley?
Yes.
All right, John, take it down. From the beginning, Mrs. Dudley, just as it happened.
Suspense. You've been listening to a statement of fact, written for Suspense by E. Jack Newman. Heard in tonight's story were Rita Lloyd as Ellen Dudley, Mason Adams as Christian, Lawson Zerby as John, Hal Burdick as the sheriff, and Jack Arthur as Taylor. Listen again next week when we return with Time on My Hands by Walter Black, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Now, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Time on My Hands by Walter Black.
Texas, did you enjoy the roast lamb tonight?
It was all right. Why?
Gertrude was wondering. She noticed you were frowning at the table.
None of the business if I was. State of the world's enough to make anyone frown.
Yes, dear, I know.
And tell Gertrude and tell her to mind her own business.
Justin! Why, she's been with us almost 24 years. Besides, she's a gem, and you know.
She knows it, too. That's true.
Well, dear, after all, this is 1939. We don't find cooks like Gertrude growing on trees.
Just climbing them, huh?
What, dear?
Nothing, Emily. Nothing. Time for the news.
And with the gray-clad Wehrmacht poised on our eastern borders tonight, Poland is a country steeled for the worst. In Paris and London, the mood is grim. The communique is terse, and in some cases non-existent. One informed source said that Prime Ministers Chamberlain and Delanier are considering a hurried flight to Berchtesgaden with personal appeals to Chancellor Hitler, but this could not be confirmed.
Will there be a war, Justin?
Of course. I don't think Roosevelt can keep us out of it either. Sooner or later we'll be in it.
If only that Hitler would listen to reason.
You met him, my dear. Does he strike you as the kind of person who would listen to reason?
No. But then it was so many years ago. We didn't really know him.
You only have to meet the fellow once to know enough not to trust him. How many times have I tried to tell people, the man's a lunatic. You can't do business with him. Destroy him before he destroys us. How many times have I said that, Emily?
Many times, dear.
Yes, and I've gotten the same reaction I get from you. Nice, gentle pats on the back. Somewhere along the way, you think someone would have had the sense to blow the man's brains out. It would have saved the world a lot of grief.
Well, dear, even if someone had killed him, wouldn't there have been someone else?
Perhaps. But remember one thing, Emily. In his own evil way, Hitler's a genius. And geniuses are few and far between. Yes, Margaret?
Sprouts is here, Mr. Driscoll, and he simply insists on seeing you. You're darn right I do, Justin. And it's a whole lot more important than your stocks and bonds.
All right, Owen, come on in.
I've done it, Gus. This is going to curl your hair.
Another invention, Orrin?
Now, don't say it like that.
Well, you'll forgive me if I don't jump up and down with glee. I've been contributing to your inventions for a quarter of a century without one
Now,
single...
don't play the big tendency with me, Gus Driscoll. When we were boys back in Glen Falls, we took an oath to help each other no matter what, didn't we?
Oh, sure. It's been a little one-sided so far, though.
Well, this'll balance the books all right. It will make you a rich man, a richer man.
Get to the point. I'm busy.
I perfected a time machine.
And I hope it's not...
What? Perfected a time machine?
You're crazy.
Like a fox, I've invented a time machine, and it works. You know what that means, Joss? I've broken through the fourth dimension. Well, don't just sit there.
Orrin, you couldn't have invented any such thing. Only in those dime magazines that time machines exist, not in real life. It's a contradiction, don't you see?
No.
Time exists only because it's already in the past. What hasn't happened yet doesn't exist because it hasn't taken place yet. Don't you understand, Orrin? What you say is literally impossible. Emily, I'm still staggered. Can you imagine what it was like to see the contraption actually work? Time and time again? It was like being present at the dawn of a new era.
It must have been very interesting, dear. How's Millie?
Huh? Oh, all right, I guess. I only saw it for a moment, but Emily, imagine the sheer magnitude of the discovery.
Oh, I do, dear.
Don't you get it? It works. I went out there to Staten Island just to humor Orrin. I didn't believe it for a second. How could I? And I've come away a complete convert. It's
staggering.
Exactly. Listen, he took their old retriever, you remember Rex? And put some kind of contraption on him and set the controls for exactly 11 years in the past. Threw the switch and the whole kit and caboodle just faded out. Then he reversed the switch and it faded back in again. Just like that. Only get this, Emily. It wasn't Rex. Or rather, it wasn't 11-year-old Rex anymore. It was a little 6-week-old puppy.
How sweet.
So then Orrin set the controls for exactly 11 years in the future. Threw the switch and poof, the puppy faded out. But this time when he brought him back, it was old Rex again. And none the worse for wear either. Absolutely staggering. Emily, you realize that in Orrin's machine a man could go back in time to any period he chose?
Really, dear? How interesting.
He could go anywhere. Do anything. He could even...
In just a moment, we will return for the second act of Suspense.
Remember this, oldie? If I had an apple and added 2 oranges, 1/2 a grapefruit, and 3/4 of a pineapple, what would I have? Fruit salad, probably. But if you took a Usapi course in analytic geometry, added 2 courses in psychology, 1 in history, and 2 in literature, you'd have an education. Yes, an education is as broad as the man who studies wants it to be. And the educated man is the one who usually gets ahead in his chosen field. Anyone for you, Safi?
Now, let me get this straight. You think you can go back 30, 35 years, knock off Adolf Hitler, and then come back to 1939 just like that?
Why not?
What makes you think you could commit murder?
Killing Hitler wouldn't be murder, Orrin. He needs killing for the sake of the whole world. Think of it, Orrin. A world without fear.
Yes, sounds real peaceful. But it might be kind of dangerous, just tinkering with history.
Ever think of that? Certainly. Look, the only way Hitler's ever impinged his own impression on others is through evil, right? I'd only be eradicating the evil. And if it changes people's lives, it'll be for the better.
What about Emily?
What about her?
Well, I can hear her right now when you tell her. She'll either put you right to bed and call your doctor, or else she'll get your butler, strap you down, and call the nearest psychiatrist.
Waterfield Driscoll, you must be out of your mind.
Now, Emily.
Now, here you are, going on 55, and still trying to act like one of the Rover boys.
But, honey...
Why, you've got a position to maintain, a firm and a board of directors you're supposed to be responsible to.
If you'd only...
You think I'd let you go off by yourself without anyone to watch out for you?
If you just let me get one word in... What did you say?
When?
You said you wouldn't let me go off by myself.
Naturally not.
Does that mean you would let me go if I took somebody?
Well, not somebody. Me.
You?
If you can do it, why couldn't I? I beat you at ping pong and tennis, don't I? I'm not the one who always complains about walking too fast up in the country, am I? And Dr. Saxby says my physical condition would do a girl of 25 per hour.
I know.
No but, Justin. Either you take me or you don't go. And furthermore, you don't just walk into a thing like this without a lot of preparation. For example, how are you going to get back to where...
I'll be darned. She really said all that, just that and a whole lot more. And let me tell you something, Orrin. She made sense. She even figured out where to go. Where? Linz, Austria. Never heard of it. We were there on a honeymoon in 1908. It's Hitler's hometown, Orrin. That's where we met him. You know, I've told you about meeting him.
Hundreds of times.
This is hardly the time for sarcasm.
Sorry.
The machine can get us back there, can't it?
Don't see why not.
Emily even remembered the evening we met him. Plus woman for dates. We got to Linz on July 15th, and on the 16th, we went to this beer garden. So you fix it so we can be back in Linz on July 16th, 1908, and we'll take it from there.
All right now, just about ready. When I throw the switch, you'll be in Linz, Austria. And it'll be sometime late in the morning of July 16th, 1908.
Right.
I'm giving you 24 hours, and that's all. Tomorrow morning, I'll reverse the switch and bring you back.
Right.
Now, remember, Just, you'll be 23, and...
I'll be 21.
Good thing you got the old-style clothes. You look kind of funny running around in 1939 duds. Oh, is that not funny? All we need. I thought of everything, haven't you?
Of course, Orrin. Now can we go?
Just one thing more.
What?
Forget the whole idea. No.
Why, Orrin? Don't you believe in your own machine?
It's not the machine, Em. I just don't like the idea of tampering with your lives this way, Emily. And besides, how do I know your personalities might not be changed?
Save your breath. Our minds are made up.
Well, If you say so.
Wish us luck, Orange.
Oh, I do. Maybe you can bring back Hitler's scalp as a memento.
There's no call to be vulgar.
No, ma'am. Well, I can't talk you out of going. No. Hang on, then.
Say goodbye to Millie for us.
Yep. Here you go. The real thing now, can't you, darling?
I certainly can. Oh, in the street, the atmosphere is so
heavy you can cut it with a knife.
The women, John. Did you ever see so many fat ones?
Oh, must be all that Wiener Schnitzel and Hassenpfeffer they eat. Yes, my love?
Do you think they all know we're newlyweds?
Well, I think all the men are jealous of me, and all the housefrows are envious of you. That's what I think.
Justin, dear.
Yes, my love?
I like being Mrs. Driscoll.
Well, I love you, Mrs. Driscoll. Come here.
Not you, Justin.
Why not? Got the prettiest bride in the world, and if I want to kiss her in a beer garden, who's to...
Two people do not need an entire table.
What? Oh, you wish to join us?
I wish to sit and drink my schnapps.
Move over, Emily.
You are American?
Yes?
I could tell.
What did you say, Joe?
You just asked if we were Americans. My name is Driscoll. Mein Frau.
Mein Frau. I understand that, darling.
Victor.
I beg your pardon?
My name. Adolf Hitler.
Well, I'm glad to meet you, Herr Hitler.
You Americans are all rich, are you not?
Far from it. Most of us are just...
You are rich, though.
Well, I don't see that
You have servants and automobiles and houses and all the food you want. That is obvious. The Americans are all alike. Soft. With too much food and too much easy living.
It sounds unpleasant, dear. What are you saying?
Nothing, dear. You probably had too much to drink.
They say that in America you are ruled by your women. Is that true, America?
No, it's not. Who the devil gave you the right to ask these questions?
No one. I am Adolf Hitler. I do as I please.
Hitler? You say it as if it means something. It means nothing to me.
Wait, American. It will one day.
What are you? What do you do?
I'm a painter and an architect.
Let's go, Justin. I don't like him.
Frankly, dear, neither do I.
I'm also a revolutionary.
That's what I thought. A Bolshevik.
No, American. A German revolutionary. Quite a different thing. I believe in a Germany that will rule the world, including your part of it.
In America, we have a few people like you, Herr Hitler, only we call them crackpots. Come on, Emily.
Hurry back to your nice rich hotel, American, before you hear a few bitter truths. Hurry back and hide your head on the
What an awful person, Just. Let's not come back here again.
In just a moment, we will return for the concluding act of Suspense.
For centuries, the word ahoy has been an indispensable part of the mariner's vocabulary. It's an attention-getting hail and a nautical hello, generally heard with interest and sometimes pleasure. 1,000 and more years ago, the word ahoy, yelled in fierce chorus by the crew of a high-prowed galley, was heard with dread. It was the war cry of the invincible Vikings. In this complex world, where word meanings are constantly changing, it's easy to be misunderstood. That's why it's a good idea to know your words.
Isn't eating breakfast out here heavenly, darling? They don't have sidewalk cafes all over New York. I wonder why they don't.
Well, with all the automobiles on the streets, you'd choke to death on the fumes. Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
Here comes that chap, that Hitler, the one we met last night.
Oh, no.
There you are, Herr American. We meet again.
Don't talk to him, Just.
I I thought I would find you here. I simply asked myself which is the most expensive hotel in all of Linz. And here I came, and here you are.
Now, see here. We're eating our breakfast, and we'd like...
I brought you some of my architectural studies. I think some might appeal to you. The money would mean little to you, and someday they will be worth many times what you pay for them.
Now, look here, Herr Hitler.
I consider this one of my best, if not the best. The cathedral. Well, what do you think?
Very interesting.
Oh, here. Two studies of the town hall from different angles. And here, Vienna, the chancellery. And here's another one of Vienna, the emperor's residence. Which do you like the best?
None of them.
Oh, you are angry about what I said last night. Very well, I take no offense. You see, American, I am fair-minded. Now, which do you wish to buy? I will be very reasonable.
None of them. And as for the bitter truth, I don't think you have any talent at all. I wouldn't give you 1 penny for the whole lot.
Very well, American. Today, it is your turn. One day soon it will be mine. Today you sneer at me. Tomorrow you will be begging for mercy. You and all the others.
Get out before I throw you out.
What makes you so brave, American? Money. One day I shall control more money than you ever dreamed of. Power. One day I shall be the most powerful man in the world. And when that day comes, you and your kind will be crushed. Like that. American pig, I spit on you. Just. I leave you to your soft life, American pig. Enjoy it while you can. Our day is coming.
What was he screaming about, John?
Never mind. He's mad as a hatter. Forget him. Waiter, more coffee.
Not tonight, Justin. That dreadful man's absolutely ruined my whole morning for me.
Don't worry, darling. We'll never see him again. None the worse for wear. How are you feeling? Horn, that's me. Feeling okay, Emily?
Well, I guess so.
What are we doing here? Just walked you back. Here, let me get those attachments off you. What do you mean you just brought us back? Well, to equalize you back to your actual ages, I had to shoot you 31 years into the future before I could get you back here to 1939. Listen, Warren, if this is a joke, I'm not sure I appreciate it. There we are. Now, what seems to be the trouble? You don't feel any after effects, do you?
After effects of what, Oren? Now, don't start any of the scientific mumbo-jumbo, because I wouldn't understand it. I thought your time machine worked. Why didn't you send us to Linz?
Now, just hold everything right there. Are you trying to tell me that you don't remember anything? What's there to remember? I had Thomas drive us all the way out here this morning, didn't I? No. Oh, no, my friend, not this morning. That was yesterday morning.
What?
Did you shave before you came out to my place?
If my early morning habits are of any interest to you, Orange Squads, I shave every morning.
Well, feel your whiskers.
I did shave. I distinctly remember.
Sure. Yesterday you shaved.
Oren, what are you trying to tell us?
I'm trying to tell you that you and Gus went back to 1908 exactly 24 hours and 6 minutes ago.
Believe it.
Well, suit yourself.
It couldn't be, Oren. Well, we just put on those attachments a minute ago.
Where's your purse, Emily?
That's right. Now, that's funny. I'm positive I brought it with me.
You did? Yesterday. You must have left it behind you.
Warren, we've been friends a long time. Don't play with us anymore.
I'm not. It's the gospel truth I'm telling you, and it's about the most ironical thing that's ever happened. The first people ever to go back in time don't remember a thing about it.
No.
Oh, yes.
Warren, even if what you say is true and you did send us back, maybe I accomplished what I set out to do.
Afraid not, little boy. Hold him. Just surrender.
came in on the 8 o'clock news. Your friend Hitler's very much alive.
But what happened in the last 24 hours, Oren?
Afraid you're the only ones who can tell me that. And you don't remember anything at all?
So you said, here you go, and the next thing I knew, you were asking us how we felt.
Well, tell me something. Can you remember meeting Hitler? Talking to him?
Well, I remember it very well because he was such a dreadful little man. But it was so long ago, Oren. So many years.
We saw him twice. At the beer garden in front of our hotel the next morning. But you know all that, Oren. I've told you that.
Yes, hundreds of times. I was just seeing if maybe I could jog your memories of the past 24 hours. But I guess it's no use. No, nothing.
Couldn't you send me back alone?
Probably could, but I won't. Like I said before, I don't like tampering with people or history either. Besides, I guess it just wasn't fated to be.
What do you mean?
Well, can you imagine just killing anyone?
Of course not. I mean, well, I don't think I could.
Well, there you are. Maybe your subconscious was what kept you from remembering. Or maybe it was the machine. Doesn't really matter. But it does prove one thing. Even a time machine can't change a man's character. Oh, you had a good idea, Josh. Crazy, but sometimes they're the best. Only trouble is, you picked the wrong fellow to do the dirty work.
Suspense.
Not many of us rob banks, or traffic with the supernatural, or commit murder. Yet most of us play our parts in one of the most suspenseful dramas man can experience, the birth of a baby. That's what our story's about. That and the Hollywood Freeway, that swift and terrifying facility built by man not for the convenience of men, but for the convenience of machines. It's the most heavily traveled road in the world. It knows death intimately, almost daily. In a moment, Ivy's a lovely name for a girl, by Sam Pierce.
Hello, this is Gary Moore with a parable for you. This isn't going to be one of those shaggy parables of yours, like the celebrated Blue New, is it, Gary?
Derwin, I make you no promises.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Well, here it goes. Once there was a hummingbird named Martha. Her mate, Sammy, had been worrying about feathering their nest, and he said as much. Martha, he asked in a tired chirp, how are we going to go about feathering our nest? And Martha, a wise hummingbird, she hummed, let's use feathers.
Gary?
This isn't such a good idea for people. Besides, it tickles. The best idea is to feather your nest by systematic saving in improved, higher interest earning United States savings bonds. Buy them through the payroll savings plan or the bond-a-month plan, and you'll like what happens to your money.
Friends, sound advice from the proprietor of the Gary Moore Radio Show, weekdays on CBS Radio.
No need to mention that, Derwin.
Oh, no?
It wasn't as though this was our first baby. Robbie was 8, going on 9. It was just that Linda was out of practice, and it made her jumpy. We'd planned this thing like Eisenhower planned the Normandy landing, and yet every hour on the hour, Linda wanted to run down the checklist. She wasn't so pretty, and if I didn't love her so much, I might have gotten a little annoyed. As it was, well, a little understanding never hurt anyone.
I know it's silly, Tom, but is the car full of gas?
To the top.
And you called Marion about coming over and staying with Bobby?
Yesterday, the day before yesterday, and also today. Twice. It's a wonder your sister answers the phone at all.
Did you call Dr. King today?
I called him. I told him you felt fine.
You told him I thought I might have to...
I told him your built-in calculating machine said tonight was the night. And he said not to knock it. Mothers-to-be usually have inside information on such things.
Please, no jokes.
He gave me the phone number where I could reach him if he wasn't at home or at the office.
Tom, I'm sorry I'm such a nag about this, but I just don't want anything to go wrong.
Baby.
I keep reading about people running out of gas on the way to the hospital or losing their way or getting there and not being able to find their doctor.
Baby, I know.
I just figured I couldn't take it if something like that happened to me. I guess I'm not much of a mother.
Now, you look. You're a wonderful mother. You've done a magnificent job with Bobby, and you're going to do okay with the new one.
Say, where is Bobby? If we have to leave in a hurry, I don't want to have to start looking all over the neighborhood for him.
Honey, he's just out in the backyard.
He isn't climbing the ivy to the garage roof again, is he? Tom, I've asked him not to play in the ivy 100 times, and he says, okay, Mom, and goes right on doing it. I think you ought to speak to him. I mean, you're his father.
Now, Linda, listen to me. Bobby is an 8-year-old boy. He's a healthy, normal boy with the urge to climb that every kid has had since boys were invented. Honey, that ivy on the garage is as strong and as safe as a rope ladder. He's not going to hurt himself.
He could fall and kill himself.
He could fall, and he'd probably bounce right up again.
Tom, I want you to call him in. I want you to tell him not to climb on that ivy anymore, and I mean it.
All right, honey, I'll call him. Looks like rain out anyway. Hey, you know, I just had a great thought. If the new one's a girl, maybe you should call it Ivy. Yeah, Ivy Peterson. It's a pretty name.
It's a horrible name. And I don't think you're funny. I don't think you're funny at all.
Oh, baby, come on now. I was only kidding. All right, I'll go out and get Bobby. Bob! Bobby!
Hi, Pop.
Where are you, son?
Up here, on the garage.
Well, now come on down. You're not supposed to play on the garage roof.
Okay, watch. I'll show you how I can slide down the ivy.
Yeah, okay. You better hurry up. It's starting to rain.
I can do it in the rain, Pop. I've done it. Watch.
Hey, take it easy now. Your mom doesn't like you climbing things.
Watch. I can climb right down like a ladder almost. See, I'm down. How's that, Pop?
That's great, son. Only your mom doesn't want you to do it. You might lose your grip and fall, and, well, you could get very badly hurt. You wouldn't want that, son, would you?
I fell lots of times, and I didn't even hurt myself at all. I can climb easy.
Yeah, well, now, before we go in, I want you to listen very carefully. I don't want you to mention the ivy or the garage to your mother.
Okay.
Oh, now, look, I'm serious about this. Your mom's a little... Well, she's not exactly herself. She's nervous. She worries about little things because... Well, because...
Because she's going to have a baby? Isn't that right, Pop?
Yeah, that's right, son. I couldn't have put it better myself.
I sure hope it isn't a girl.
Well, what's wrong with girls?
Oh, they cry all the time, and they dress in dresses, and they can't climb or anything.
Well, your mother wants a girl, and well, I'd kind of like one myself. You're enough boy for one family. Now, come on in the house. It's really beginning to rain.
Tom?
We're here, Linda.
Tom, please hurry.
Hey, what is it, baby?
Tom, I think you'd better call Dr. King. I think it's time to go.
Okay, I'll call him right now. Look, Bobby, you can help. You go in your mother's room and get her overnight bag. It's at the foot of the bed.
Okay, Pop.
You better call Marion.
Yeah. Now, take it easy, sweetie. I'll call her. First, I've got to call the doc, and then I'll call your sister. Let's see. It's almost dark. If we can get out of here in, say, 15 minutes, we should get to the hospital by... Hello, is Dr. King there? Oh, it's you, Doc. Well, this is Tom Peterson. And Linda, my wife? Yeah, Linda. Yeah, well, she's fine, but she's going to have the baby, and... Yeah. Yeah, well, she thinks we'd better go pretty soon, Doc. She says that...
Tell him now, Tom. Please tell him now.
She says now, Doc. Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah. I'll drive her over there as soon as we can get away, and you'll be there. Okay, and thanks, Doc. Thanks a lot.
Did he say he'd go right over to the hospital?
Yeah, that's right, baby. He'll be there. Now, all I have to do is get your sister Marion over here, and we can go.
get Marion on the phone, and that's the first hitch. She says her husband Gus had their car, and it blew a gasket or something, and well, now she's about to have hysterics because she has no way of getting over to take care of Bobby. So you make the only move you can. You tell her to forget it. You'll take Bobby to the hospital with you. Bobby.
Yeah, Pop?
Now look, we're going to have to change things a little. You're going with us.
Oh, boy. Tom.
I can't help it, honey. Your sister got loused up with the car, and she can't get over here. So we've got to do it this way. That'll be all right. Bobby won't be any trouble. Now, will you, son?
No, I won't be any trouble. I promise.
Okay. Now, you all set, Linda?
I think so.
And Bobby's got the bag?
Yeah?
The car's out front? Yeah. Oh, I could do without this rain. Well, you can't have everything.
Tom, let's go.
Yeah, honey. Okay. We're off. And don't worry, baby. There's plenty of time. I know the way to the hospital like a book. You just take it easy and relax and don't worry. Okay? Let's go. You've gone over the route so many times in your mind you could drive it blindfold. But you hadn't planned on a San Fernando Valley rainstorm. A half an hour of rain and the streets are running knee-deep, and your windshield is covered with mud and water before the wipers can clear it. The only thing that's really on your side is time, because you had everything ready to go, and Linda said she could tell sooner with a second child. Well, that's what she said.
Tom, how long will it take to get there?
Well, you know we planned it for about 20 minutes. Half an hour at the outside.
With this rain, I mean. How long will this rain?
I don't know, honey. Maybe a few minutes longer than we planned. Not much.
Hey, Pop, that car went through a puddle and splashed us.
A puddle? More like a lake. Oh, it won't be like this when we get on the freeway. Water doesn't stand on the road there.
You think we should take the freeway in the storm?
Oh, honey, do you want me to drive through these lakes all the way to the hospital? Look, we get off this street in about 3 blocks and get up on the freeway. Well, from there on in, it's easy sailing.
Well, they drive pretty fast on the freeway.
Holy mackerel, honey, will you relax? I drive the freeway to work every day of my life. I know it like a book. We'll get there on time. Relax. You make the turn off Laurel Canyon Boulevard, climb the long ramp, and you're on the freeway. You've hollered right along with the next guy about the crazy, mixed-up Hollywood freeway system. But right now it looks great. 4 wide, velvet, smooth lanes inbound and 4 lanes outbound, and a lovely strip divider down the middle. Of course, on this section of freeway, the divider isn't a steel fence like on some. It's sort of a raised parkway. Asphalt on top, about 10 feet wide, with boxes every 100 yards or so planted with shrubs. But it does keep you separated from the cars in the opposite lane. And in a rain like this, with the glare from your headlights mixing crazily with the others, it's a comforting feeling just to know it's there.
Daddy, are we almost there?
Almost.
How much further is it?
Stop bothering Daddy, Bobby. It's a little ways yet.
Bobby, the Hollywood Bowl's over there on your right. You can't see it, of course, but that's where it is.
And those are the lights of Hollywood right ahead of us.
Will we get to the hospital pretty soon?
Sure we will, Bobby. We go along the freeway here till we get to the Vermont off-ramp. Oh, then we go down Vermont a few blocks. We'll be there.
Do you know that we're going almost 60 miles an hour, Tom?
I do, honey.
Boy, 60. Let's go faster, Pop.
Now, son, 60 is the average speed along the freeway. If you go faster, you run into the cars ahead of you. But if you go slower, you get clobbered by the cars in back of you.
An awful lot of traffic for this time of night, isn't there?
Nothing unusual, honey. They begin to jam up all the way to the interchange. But they all move.
I never feel easy driving so close to other cars so fast.
Not bad. A lot better than that old-fashioned stop-and-go routine. Oh, so long as everybody keeps in his own lane and stays moving, things are fine. How do you feel, honey?
I'm all right, but I wish we'd get there.
I thought you said the second ones were, well, a little more predictable. This one seems to be in an awful hurry.
Well, I'm sorry, Tom.
Oh, come on, baby. I didn't mean anything. I was just kidding.
Tom, will you see if you can get us there as soon as you can? Oh, please. Please. Yes.
Honey, just hang on. I'll see if maybe I can't...
Stop! It's a tire, our front tire. Tom, we're swerving. We're going up at the divider.
I know, honey.
Dear God.
You all right, baby?
I'm all right.
Bobby?
I'm okay, Pop. Why'd you drive up here, Pop?
Tire blew out. Oh, we're lucky. No one hit us. We didn't go across the divider into a car coming the other way. We're okay.
I can't stay here very long.
Now, take it easy, Linda. Hold on. I'll get out and flag down a car, and I'll get them to take us to the hospital. Now, you just sit tight. I'll get out there, okay? Hey, slow down, will you? We need help. Hey! Oh, they won't stop, honey. Rather, they can't stop. Everybody's going too fast to stop.
What are we going to do?
Well, I want you and Bobby to stay right here. I can't get across those 4 lanes of traffic. I'd never make it. I'll walk down the dividers, the next overhead street crossing.
Can you get off the divider there?
Of course I can. They've got to have some steps up the inside of the cement post or a steel ladder up the outside.
Oh, Tom.
Oh, honey, they probably even have a phone at the base there, in a box or something. After all, nobody'd build a freeway with a divider strip down the middle of it with no way off. They'd be completely crazy.
Can I go with you, Dad?
No, son, I want you to stay here with your mother. I'll be back before you know it. It can't be too far.
Please hurry, Tom. Be careful.
Now, don't worry, baby. I'll be back in a jiffy. You mean to walk ahead to the next overhead, but then you remember that you passed one back about a quarter mile. So you walk back along the divider instead. You walk, and you begin to fight a crazy urge. It's like the feeling you had when you were a kid and you used to walk the railroad tracks, as if you were balancing on a narrow tightrope and you were going to fall off, step off into space. And then, after what seems like an hour, you're at the overhead cross bridge. You look at the cement pillar rising 60 feet above you to the road bottom, with the decorative vines climbing thinly up the wet cement. And you look for the stairs, or the ladder, or the phone. And there are no stairs. There's no ladder, and there is no phone. There's just you and the raised divider you're standing on, and the cement pillar, and the jigsaw of splashing headlights hurtling by you on both sides, not seeing you or not doing anything about it if they do see you. You've never felt so alone in your life. You've never felt so trapped. You've never been so scared.
In just a moment, we will return for the second act of Suspense. A station affiliated with the CBS radio network sounds different because of a sound difference in its programs and news. For this station presents not only the news that interests you most locally, but adds to it national and worldwide perspective through CBS News coverage and reporting. This station brings you more than its exacting standards for local interest programming. Its schedule includes the top product of CBS Radio's New York and Hollywood production facilities, spotlighting the stars and star entertainment that are national in appeal and importance. This station offers not only complete, objective public affairs broadcasts that affect listeners at close range, but selects the award-winning products of CBS News' Department of Public Affairs, weighing important issues of the nation, exploring new horizons in science, medicine, the arts, and the humanities. When you listen to this station, the different sound is your assurance that a sound difference governs its presentation of news and entertainment. That difference is made possible by this station's affiliation with CBS Radio, America's most listened-to network.
You stand on the narrow concrete divider in the rain, and you know you have to get off. You've got to get help for your wife and your son. And the new life that's trying so hard to be born back in the car. Maybe if you time it right, you can get across the 4 lanes and make it up the bank to the street and get help. Maybe. If you watch closely and brake for it just right. Yeah, that's got to be the trick. Get a brake and run for it. Now. You don't get 2 feet before they're on you. You make it back, and that's all. And now you know you can't get help that way. So you hurry back through the rain a long quarter mile to the car. Hi, honey.
Well?
I didn't make it. But I'm going back to the other way and see if there's a way up there. It's the only thing I can do. Where's Bobby?
Why, he's with you.
No, honey, I left him with you. I told him to stay with you.
But I let him go look for you. I thought I was going to have a baby, and I asked him to go and get you. I thought...
He didn't get to me. I came back to the car. He wasn't on the divider.
He has to be. He went the same way.
Back? Back towards Hollywood?
No, you said you were going forward to the next overhead.
Honey, I didn't go forward. I went back. Oh, Linda, baby. Bobby's out alone on that divider somewhere. I'll go get him.
Oh. Hurry, Tom. Please hurry. I can't hang on much longer. I can't hang on.
I'll be back, baby. I'll be back as soon as I can.
In just a moment, we'll return for the concluding act of Suspense.
Hi. Maybe you'll recall this tuneful reminder of times past. This is Dennis James with something else worth remembering. It's this. You're so right to stay regular with Kellogg's All Brand. See, it's the normal, natural way to youthful regularity. The whole brand content of Kellogg's All Brand supplies your system with all the bulk-forming food that you need every day. There's only one All Brand. It's Kellogg's All Brand. So relieve irregularity from lack of bulk, as millions do, with a bowl full of Kellogg's All Brand each morning. ALL-BRAN. It's Kellogg's All Brand.
You start off running now. Running down that tiny strip of wet asphalt as though your life depended on it. And you know it isn't your life. It's Linda's. And a little new one. And Bobby. An 8-year-old. He could get bewildered. He could get dizzy and step out into that traffic. You keep running till you reach the overhead bridge. And there's no Bobby. There's nothing but rain and concrete and headlights and fear. You're just about to make another try at a run across the traffic when you hear it. A siren. Moving. Coming along the freeway. Maybe you can stop it. Maybe you can jump out in front of it and stop it. But you know before you even consider it that you wouldn't live long enough to tell them what you wanted. And now you can see it. A revolving red light on a moving car, coming up the fast lane. You stand there like a madman, waving your arms and screaming, "Stop! Stop! Here on the divider! Please! Please stop!" And you watch it hurtle by you. And you hate them for not seeing you. And you wonder if there is a way off this trip. This miserable, thin, wet divider. And then you realize the siren is dying down. Not fading away, but stopping. You look down the divider to see the revolving red light on the top of the police car. And it's stopping. By your car, it's stopping. And you run. Run back towards the car. Back towards Linda. And now you know the police car has stopped because the cars ahead of you in the fast lane are stopping too. And you run back along the damnable strip. And you run. And you run. And you run. And at last you're there. You're back at the car. And there's a policeman with flares standing behind the police car. And inside your car, there are 2 policemen with Linda. And Bobby's there, too.
Hi, Pop.
Bobby, where were you? Where'd you go?
I went up the ivy, Pop. I thought maybe you'd climb the ivy up to the bridge. So I climbed up there to find you. Mom said for me to find you.
It's okay, Bobby. It's okay, son.
I guess you're the father here. Mother and child are doing fine.
Mother and child? Linda. Linda, are you all right, honey?
Okay, darling. It's a little girl. Bobby brought these policemen back with him.
Yeah, Bobby's quite a boy. Popped up over the edge of the overhead bridge just as we were crossing. I thought I was seeing things.
I wouldn't have climbed it, Pop, but I thought you were up there.
Oh, it's okay, son. You did just the right thing.
It was easy. The ivy was just like it is on the garage.
Linda.
Yes, Tom?
I couldn't get off. I couldn't find any way off the divider. If it wasn't for Bobby...
I know, Tommy. I know. And you know something else I know.
What, honey?
I've changed my mind. I think Ivy's a lovely name for a girl.
Yeah. Ivy. Ivy Peterson. Oh, it is a lovely name, honey. Hiya, Ivy.
Suspense. You've been listening to Ivy's a Lovely Name for a Girl, written for Suspense by Sam Pierce. In a moment, the names of our players and a word about next week's story of Suspense. What is a newsman's first duty? His prime responsibility? It can be summed up in 3 words. Get the story. Of course, this statement of his responsibility isn't as simple in practice as in the saying. To get that story requires ingenuity and resourcefulness. An indefinable nose for news based on experience. A good newsman files his report only after he's sure of his facts. His integrity prevents him from slanting a story for sensationalism's sake. he has no axes to grind. A good newsman views his responsibility as one which requires him to convey word of the day's events with speed, accuracy, and objectivity. For all three, speed, accuracy, and objectivity, the newsmen and correspondents who staff CBS news bureaus around the world are foremost in the field of broadcast journalism. Theirs is a reputation gained through many years of bringing the news to CBS radio listeners from coast to coast. Today, as for decades, you're always sure of getting the news fast, first, via CBS News on CBS Radio. Tonight's story were Phil Meader as Tom, Jane Huzzack as Linda, Johnny Spencer as Bobby, and Carl Frank as the cop. Listen again next week when we return with Witness for Death by Ronald Dawson. Another tale well calculated to keep you in
And now, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Witness for Death, written for suspense by Ronald Dawson, based on a story by Anne Howard Bailey.
Life was good to me. I had a wonderful wife, a lovely baby, and two of the best friends a man could ever want, Randy and Kay Stoneman. One day after work, I thought I'd drop in at Riley's Grill, where Randy often stopped on his way home. I was approaching the rear entrance when I noticed the time on a window clock and stopped to check my watch. It was exactly 5:45. Suddenly, I saw Randy hurrying out of the rear entrance of Riley's Grill. Randy! Hey, Randy! Randy, it's me, Bert! Randy drove away without seeing me. Little did I think that this simple incident was going to lead to one of the greatest crises in my life. An hour or so later, I was at home when...
Bert, could you come into the living room for a moment?
What is it, hon?
Move the baby stroller somewhere, will you?
Where to?
Well, anywhere, just so it's out of sight before Randy and Kay get here.
Going to a lot of fuss, aren't you?
Oh, I'm tired of their always seeing the apartment in a mess. Kay has lovely things.
Randy has lovely bills, that poor guy.
Oh, stop defending him. He spends as much as Kay does. But at least they have things.
Oh, salesmen have to look good, Linda.
And accountants don't, I suppose?
I'll take a steady salary any time. I know Randy's commissions look big, but they...
Oh, there they are. Would you let him in, Bert? I want to run across the hall and borrow Mrs. Lacey's steak knife.
Keep your shirts on. I'm coming. Oh. Well, I thought it was Claxton. Yes,
I'd like to talk to you for a couple of minutes. I'm Lieutenant Conover, Police Department.
Yes, Lieutenant, but my wife and I are expecting company.
It won't take long. Just a few questions.
Well, okay. Come in. What's the trouble, Lieutenant? I haven't done anything.
Oh, I'm just checking some facts for the DA.
Oh. Okay, shoot.
According to my information, you're an accountant.
Yes?
With the Columbia Mutual Insurance Company for 18 months.
That's right.
There's another tenant in this same building, works at Columbia, too, Randolph Stoneman.
Yeah, friend of mine. Randy and I were in Korea together. Mustered out at the same time. Great guy.
See? According to this record, he's worked for me a little over 2 years.
Yep, salesman. When I finished my accountant's course, he pulled me in. Randy's that kind of a guy.
Take a look at this picture. Is him with you?
Yeah, that's him. Say, what is this? What's this all about?
Just routine checks, Claxton, every now and then. Something happens. You got to check it, that's all.
Trouble at the company?
Not exactly.
Well, I'm glad to cooperate, but like I said, my wife and I are expecting company, and matter of fact, it's Randy and his wife. Why, maybe he could help you.
Maybe. You see a lot of the Stonemans?
Well, sure.
You guys share rides to work and home, huh?
Randy drives me in mornings. I don't own a car. He's out during the day making calls, and sometimes after work I look for him at Riley's Grill and hitch a ride home.
Tom Riley's. I was there this afternoon. I didn't see you there.
I was across the street. I didn't go inside.
You missed him, huh?
No. I saw him coming out of the back door. I yelled, but he didn't hear me over the traffic.
What time was it? About?
5:45 on the nose.
You're sure?
Sure, I'm sure. I happened to check my watch just then. Why?
It was Randy Stoneman who came out that back door at 5:45? You're positive?
Look, Randy and I have been buddies for years. I'd know him anywhere. Why?
Oh, nothing. But, thanks a lot, Mr. Claxton. Been very helpful.
How?
I'm sorry I took so long, Bert. Have Randy...
Hi, anybody home?
Are we too early?
Your name, Randolph Stoneman?
Yeah, Randolph. Long for Randy.
Where were you this evening at approximately 5:45, Mr. Stoneman?
What's it to you?
Here's my badge. Lieutenant Conover, Police Department.
So?
You answer my question, Mr. Stoneman?
Well, now, just let me think now. 5:45, I must have been at home. Yeah, right upstairs at home, wasn't I, Kate?
I was washing my hair when you came in. I'm not sure of the time, but
Mr.
if you
Stoneman,
say you were...
You're quite sure you weren't leaving Riley's Grill by the back door at 5:45?
Well, didn't I just tell you that...
I'll have to ask you to come downtown with me, Mr. Stoneman. You can repeat your story there.
Hey, let go of my arm. Now, what is this?
It's an arrest.
An arrest? What for?
The man who shot Riley didn't finish the job. Riley's in a coma at City Hospital. For the moment, the charge is assault with intent to kill. If he dies, it'll be murder.
What's this got to do with me?
Riley was shot at 5:45. You were seen running out the back door of Riley's Grill at 5:45 p.m.
Oh, yeah? Who saw me?
Your friend here, Mr. Claxton.
The next morning, I went to see Randy at police headquarters, where he was being held. They ushered me into a bleak and barren room. Presently, Randy entered, still wearing his sports outfit from the night before. It was a rumpled Randy, who looked like a man who had not slept the night before, who sat opposite me at the long table in the center of the room.
Well, I'm glad you came.
What can I do, Randy? Now, tell me something I can do.
What can I tell you?
I didn't know what he wanted, Randy, last night. I didn't know what he was after.
Now, look, you don't have to prove to me that you're on my team.
You didn't shoot Riley. They can't pin this on you just because you were there.
But I wasn't there. Now, get that through your head. I wasn't there, Bert. You didn't see me, understand?
But, Randy,
Now, you know Riley made book in that back room. I got in pretty deep. They got enough to pin this rap on me if Riley died.
Well, not if you didn't shoot him. Not if you're innocent.
If.
Tell me straight, Randy. I'll believe you. I don't care if you were there. I don't care if your fingerprints on the gun. If you tell me you didn't do it...
I am telling you. I wasn't near the place. You didn't see me. You were mistaken. But if you want to put a noose around my neck, Bert, if you want to do that, you just stick to that story of you.
Randy!
What are you trying to do to me, Bert?
But, Randy, I did see you.
It's up to you. Now, you just remember that, buddy.
That's the story as it now stands. You're my lawyer, Bill. I've come to you for advice.
Yes, of course. How is Riley?
Well, just before I got here, I called the hospital. He was still in a coma.
Your friend is in trouble as it is. But if Riley dies...
Yeah. If Riley dies, and Randy's up for murder, I'm going to be a sort of key witness, wouldn't you say?
Your testimony will be vital. The prosecution has a strong motive for the shooting and Randy's gambling. But your statement places him at the scene of the shooting at the exact time it happened.
Oh, it's all my fault. I got Randy into this mess.
You didn't get anybody into anything. You were asked a question. You answered it truthfully, as any law-abiding citizen should. Your statement can't become testimony unless you repeat it under oath at a trial.
Testimony? You think I'm going to be a witness against Randy? Oh, not on your life.
Well, that's up to you. You came to me for advice, and I'm giving it to you. I suppose you could find a way to evade the subpoena. Lots of people run away from unpleasant things, but But can you run away from yourself?
What am I going to do?
I'll tell you what you have to do. You'll have to decide. I know you're afraid that Randy Stoneman shot Tom Riley. And if Riley dies, you'll have to choose between your friendship for Randy and justice.
Hello. Yes, this is he. Oh, well, did he regain consciousness before he... No. All right. I'll be there. Thanks for calling.
Well, what's the matter, honey? You look...
Riley just died.
Oh, no.
It's murder. The DA wants to see me tomorrow morning.
But that means... Bert, you can't testify. How can you?
Do you think I want to? I'd give my right arm if I hadn't seen him.
Are you sure you saw him? How can you be sure?
I'm sure, I tell you. I saw him.
You could have been mistaken.
I wasn't mistaken. But I can't send Randy to... I just can't.
Bert, what will you do?
I don't know. I don't know. The dreaded moment when I would have to make a decision. Decide between Randy and justice was drawing close. It was like a nightmare that never ended, but kept getting worse. A nightmare from which I could not escape by waking up. The next morning I was in the DA's office.
I can understand your feelings, Mr. Claxton. Randy Stoneman saved your life in Korea. You two men have been through the mill together. Strong reasons for loyalty. But none of them alters this fact. Randy Stoneman committed murder.
That's your opinion.
We'll prove it. Randy was living high, way beyond his income. He mishandled his insurance collection. The company's books prove that. He was deeply in debt, not only to stores, but also to Riley. Riley was calling him.
A man doesn't kill just because he owes money.
Suppose he owed $15,000 to a bookmaker who wasn't afraid to play rough. Randy couldn't pay, and he didn't want to be worked over, so he shot Riley.
You can't make it stick unless I testify for you. Well, I'm not doing your dirty work. Get yourself another boy.
We have your statement, Mr. Claxton.
So what? I haven't signed anything. Hearsay evidence doesn't count.
Don't give me that smart talk, Claxton. It isn't a question of defying me, you know. You're defying the law. The law is designed to protect, not to punish. We're not persecutors. We're trying to be guardians. So a man can live out his life in peace and safety instead of dodging bullets.
I'm sorry. You don't understand.
I do understand. Don't use friendship as an excuse for protecting a murderer. You're doing him a favor, but you're betraying the rest of us. Now, that's a copy of your statement in front of Conover and his assistant. Sign it.
I can't.
Sign it so we can go into court with a clean case. Sign it.
Are you crazy? Let me out of here.
You listen.
No, you listen. I didn't see anything. I don't know anything. And that's the end of it. Do you hear me? That's the end of it.
Not quite. We don't need a signed deposition, you know. You'll be subpoenaed to the witness stand.
So what?
You'll be asked certain questions. You can answer them truthfully or lie and perjure yourself.
What was I to do? I would be asked certain questions. And if I lied, I'd be committing perjury. And if I told the truth, Randy would be hanged. How could I do this to Randy? He saved my life and career. He was my best and closest friend. On my way to Bill Tyler's office, the newspaper headlines fairly screamed at me. Stoneman trial opens tomorrow. DA promises quick conviction of Stoneman.
Well, Bert, have you come to a decision yet?
No.
There's not much time left. Why haven't you come back to see me before this?
What for?
We could have talked things over. Maybe I could have helped you.
Nothing helps. I keep seeing him. I keep seeing the way he looked at me at the jail the day I visited him. When he said, if you want to put a noose around my neck, stick to your story.
But your story is true, Bert. You know it's true.
Truth? What's that? I owe Randy my life. That's the truth, too.
And you think this will even things? If you lie for him on the witness stand tomorrow and perjure yourself, A life saved equals a life saved? Is that how you figured?
Well, what if I have?
Well, your figures don't balance. You forgot Tom Riley's life.
Isn't Randy Stoneman worth more than Tom Riley? Randy's a good guy, Bill. He worked hard. He had plans for his wife, for himself.
And Riley was a crook and a gambler? He deserved killing?
I don't know. Now, look, let me alone, will
And you, Bert? You're a better guy than Randy, is that it? After all, he risked his life putting you out of the line of fire.
Oh, no. You don't stop to think about that. A guy's out there. You go get him. You save him if you can, whether you like him or hate him.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because that's the way it is. You don't ask questions about a guy in battle. You just drag him in if you can. A guy's got a right to live.
A guy has a right to live, any guy. Any guy at all. Right, Bert? Whether you like him or hate him. A man still has a right to live, not to be shot down, Bert, and left on the floor to die.
I guess I better be going.
You have no right to sacrifice the laws which protect all men's lives, Bert. To save one man's life, even if he is your best friend.
Please, Bill, don't say any more. I've got to think. Look, will you be in court tomorrow?
There's nothing I can do.
Please. I've got to have somebody on my side.
All right. I'll make it a point to be there.
Oh, Bert, you're so late. I've been worried.
I'm sorry, dear. I went by to talk to Bill Tyler. I phoned you earlier, but you didn't answer.
I went up to sit with Kay for a while. She shouldn't be alone. I asked her to come down for coffee.
Oh. I wish you hadn't.
Is there anything wrong with that? Why shouldn't she sit with her friends on a night like this?
Yeah. Guess you're right, dear.
Well, what did Bill Tyler say to you?
We just talked.
What did you talk about?
The same thing you're thinking about. The same thing everybody's thinking about every time they look at me. What's he going to say when he gets on the witness stand? Will he tell the truth? Or will he lie?
Bert.
Take a guess, Linda. It's the $64,000 question. The truth or a lie?
Bert, stop it. Stop it.
Oh, no.
Now, control yourself. It's probably Kay. I'll let her in. Oh, come in, Kay. I told myself I wouldn't come, but I couldn't help it. I just couldn't stay up there alone. Of course not. We want you here with us. Now, sit down. I'll heat the coffee.
Hello, Kay.
Well, Bert, tomorrow, huh?
Yep.
A big day.
He's got a good lawyer. Things ought to go all right.
But will they? Will they go all right, Bert?
Who knows?
I think you do. You and nobody else. It's your decision whether he goes free or not.
Kay, for the love of
It's
God.
your testimony they're depending on. If you say you saw him at Riley's at 5:45, why then...
Don't, Kay.
But if you lie, Bert...
Now, look, Kay, I've been through this.
You didn't mean that. Yes, I did. Because I know Randy did it.
You what?
I've known since that first day when he said he came home early. It was almost 6:30 when he got home. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Of course it matters. All this time I've thought I've kidded myself into believing
I don't
that
care what he did. Can't you understand? I just want him back. And you can save him, Bert.
It's not that simple.
Oh, don't give me a lot of words. It's yes or no. That's all I want from you, Bert.
All right. I don't know.
Why not? What are you doing? Weighing the evidence? It's so easy, Bert. Lie for him. Tell a lie and save a life. You owe him that, Bert, don't you? Don't you?
I don't know.
Haven't you any pity in you? Haven't you any human feelings? What kind of a man are you? What kind of a man are you? Oh, Bert. Bert.
Now, don't you start on me, Linda.
Bert, you don't be so touched.
Then what is it? What were you going to say?
Oh, I can't believe it. Even when I heard Kay say it all this time, we've been thinking... All this time, he's guilty.
So what? So what? Does that make it any easier? Does that change how I feel about him?
Well, of course, you can't change your feelings so easily. Oh, poor Kay.
Linda, you've always been the smart one in our little family. Linda, tell me what to do.
Oh, darling, I wish I were clever enough to tell you.
That night I was unable to sleep. Voices kept running through my mind. I kept hearing things that had been said to me since Randy got into this horrible mess.
You'll have to decide. I know you're afraid that Randy Stoneman shot Tom Riley. And if Riley dies, you'll have to choose between your friendship for Randy and justice. Don't use your friendship as an excuse for protecting a murderer. You're doing him a favor, but you're betraying the rest of us.
What are you doing? Weighing the evidence? So easy, Bert. Lie for him. Tell a lie and save a life. You owe him that, Bert, don't you? Don't you?
Stop it. Stop it. I can't stand it anymore.
Bert, darling.
Hmm? Oh.
Now try to get some sleep, dear. I know just how you feel, but try to get some sleep. Everything will work out all right.
Will it? Will it?
I believe it will.
State your name and occupation. Bert Claxton. Speak up so that the jury can hear you.
Bert Claxton. I'm an accountant for the Columbia Mutual Insurance Company.
Now, Mr. Claxton, I want you to look at the defendant and tell me if you know him.
Of course I do. Randy Stoneman.
How long have you known him?
A number of years.
How many would you say? 5, 10 years, or more?
More than 10 years.
Then if you saw the defendant on the street, you'd never mistake him for somebody else, or vice versa.
Of course not. When I know him as well as I do.
You're right. It would be impossible for you to mistake someone else for Randy Stoneman.
I'd say so.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Claxton, on Friday, October 14th last, where were you at 5:45 p.m.?
I was on Platt Street.
Were you near the rear exit of Riley's Grill?
Yes, sir. Right opposite, on the other side of the street.
Now, Mr. Claxton, will you please tell the court exactly what happened as you stood on the other side of the street facing the rear exit of Riley's Grill?
The moment I dreaded had come. What was I to do? Should I tell the truth or not? I caught a glimpse of Kay. She was looking at me with desperate pleading in her eyes. I could hear her words again.
I don't care what he did. Can't you understand? I just want him back. And you can save him, Bert.
I turned away from Kay and saw Bill Tyler on the other side of the courtroom. He was watching me, as everyone else was. His eyes fairly burned through me, and I recalled his words.
Can't sacrifice the law to protect all men's lives to save one man's life. You'll have to choose.
Mr. Claxton, I repeat, will you tell the court exactly what happened as you stood on the other side of the street facing Riley's Grill?
Well, I looked at my watch.
What time was it?
Exactly 5:45.
All right, go on. What did you do next?
I started across the street. And at that moment, I saw Randy Stoneman come out of the back door of Riley's Grill.
Suspense.
You've been listening to Witnessed for Death, written for Suspense by Ronald Dawson. Heard in tonight's story were Frank Thomas Jr. as Bert Claxton and William Redfield as Randy Stoneman. Others in the cast were Ruth Tobin, Mary Jane Higbee, Roger DeKoven, Maurice Tartland, and Guy Rett. Listen again next week when we return with Inferno by Peter Fernandez. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Suspense has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Man and woman fall into a trap from which there is no escape but death. Inferno, written by Peter Fernandez.
Which one, dear?
The last one in front of that bar station we just passed.
No, listen. What it says?
It suggested that we check our oil, water, and gas because it's over 50 miles to the next station.
Relax, honey. We've got enough gas at least twice that distance.
Well, you know best, dear.
Mm-hmm. You tired, Kitty?
Yes, and warm.
Well, I'm afraid I can't turn the air conditioner any higher. What's weather out there? Must be 130 in that somewhere.
130, just imagine.
Yeah? That really gets it, all right. Remember in school, the history book?
Mm-hmm.
Our forefathers crossing that and without air conditioning. 2 miles an hour behind a couple of oxen. And not even a road. I don't know how they did it.
There, I snapped a good picture of that clump of cactus we just passed.
You better save some film, honey.
What for? Well, we might as well get pictures of everything. It's not every year that you get transferred clear across the country to California.
When we stop for the picnic lunch, if you have that restaurant later, I'm going to find us something real colorful. Maybe on those lasers out there. You want some spots of those, won't you?
All right, yes. Ooh, it's really good, Dorothy. I think I'll take a little nap.
Good idea, honey. I'll wait for you when I find a good spot to have our picnic.
What was that, Lester? For goodness sake, where are we?
I don't know. It started old dirt road leading off the highway, these hills. Old mining road, probably. Thought we could follow it a bit. It's about time for lunch. I promise you.
Oh, dear.
I promised you something special for our picnic.
But how far are we from the highway?
5 miles, maybe. There. Up ahead there. Under that big rock formation. Good shade there.
Oh, wow, it's beautiful.
We'll be there in a couple of minutes, honey.
Good car. Solid rock. It's always that. It's nothing but your crazy talk that we're going to take a risk. Sandy, it's right around here 100 years ago that the 4-leaf clover mine was covered over in a slide. That's your story, Dick. I was a fool to think it with everything I got. So I'm through. Now listen to me, then. Now listen long enough, I tell you. We're low on grub. Ain't even a shell for the gun if we was to see even a jackrabbit. I'm going back to camp, take my things, and get out of here. Will you shut up and listen? Huh? What? Don't you hear that? Yeah. Yeah, what is it? Car. That's what it is. A car. All the way up there. Oh, who's he fooling us? Hey. Hey, it is.
Stop them right over there by them rocks. Get down. Get your head down. What, boy? How about you? Just sit there and see you. What difference does that make? I'll get my stuff and put some hard out of here. Wait now. I got an idea better than that. Huh? Well, what do you mean? Take another look, Andy. Carefully. Carefully. Yeah? That's a fancy car, Me. Cost a lot of money, Yeah, that's right. It's too damn hot to kick you. What you thinking? I'm thinking if them folks are stupid enough to come pleasure cruising up to a place like this, they deserve to lose that car. Take it? Sure. That and anything else we can get our hands on. You know, Bert, for the first time since you talked me into coming up here, I see how we can make a strike after all.
What a spot, mister.
You'll beat the state park back in Greenville for that.
That was a good line. Now about their pictures.
Fine. Hi, you want to take one of me against this rock?
Oh, no, Luck. I couldn't get any of the scenery. Look, over there.
What?
Over there, with all those hills in the background. See that long stretch of desert? Let's take turns. I'll get a nice shot of you, and then you can take one of me in the same setting.
Okay. Honey, that's out in the sun. No, I can hear the field when it's not so hot.
Oh, it'll only take a few minutes, and then you can get back in the car and cool off. Come on, dear. We'll never be able to get tracks like this again.
Okay. But let's make it fast out in that sun, huh? Come on. Well, that's the end of this roll, honey. Now, let's get back to the car before we melt. What's the matter, dear?
The sun. I don't understand how hard it is.
Here. Move it back. I'll just carry you back to the car.
What happened?
You passed out. I was going to something like this. I was going to stay by the car instead.
I'll be all right now, dear. You can put me down.
Oh, no. Here. Put you in the car. I'll sit on the open door. Yeah, sit right there. Come around to the driver's seat. You'll be all right with the air conditioner going. Here's that. Now, as soon as you feel better, we'll get out of here. It's not working. Oh, of course. I've got to start the engine for the air conditioner to work. We forget that. That's funny.
That's funny, Les.
I thought I'd left the keys in the ignition, but I probably put them in my pocket without a key here. Nope. Are they on the seat there?
I don't see them.
I'm not serious.
Neither am I. Maybe you dropped them out there.
I better go look.
Okay.
Now, don't be alarmed. Just keep your fingers crossed, honey, and hope that I can spot their keys. Yeah, Andy. I just grabbed them out of the car while in Cool's was taking pictures. What? Is this all? A bunch of keys? Look over there, Andy. That's my hospital. Don't stop it. Do you see where that sun's reaching now? That rock overhang ain't going to be sitting in that car for long. They're going to be right out in the sun. So, without these keys, they can't get away. They got to stay in the sun. Some folks just going to race, and look. And then they're dead. That's right. So come on. Nothing less than do to wait for that sun to kill him. Let's get back to camp. My canteen's empty and I'm thirsty. He's out there. I couldn't find it.
Lester, what are we going to do?
Do? I don't know. It's heat. Sheila, you've got to get out of here.
Maybe you could start the car without the keys.
Oh, you think. There is a way. Crossing some wires. I've read about car thieves doing it all the time, but what wires? Where? I don't know how.
If your hand is shaking, don't worry, darling. You'll be all right.
Too hot to take any time out next time. I'd never make it. So the only thing I can figure is that we'll wait until nightfall. Then I'll hike the 5 or 6 miles back to the highway and get help.
We'll go together.
No. We'll be safer here. The only thing is...
What, dear?
How are we going to last until that sun goes down?
We'll try, Lester. Just try.
Sun's already hitting part of the car.
It's getting so hot in here.
Honey, I'm afraid you'll have to get under the car. We'll get us some shade and there'll be some air. It's all I hope to last out till nightfall. Come on, honey.
Wait a minute. We still have a bottle of soda pop left from our picnic. I'd better bring it along.
Good. Now, come on, dear. We've got to hold out until sunset.
Lester?
Hmm? Oh, I guess I dozed off.
The sun's down. It's getting dark.
Can I breathe? Cooler. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
No, try to make the highway.
Wait until you're feeling stronger.
Oh, well, at least we can start from under the car now.
Thank goodness.
Of course, I'm on my way.
Lester, you almost there.
I'm okay. I just gotta get help. We never last through another day. I'm going now.
Wait, here. Here, there's a drop left in this top bottle. It's for you.
No, you drink that, too.
I've had most of it already. Now, please, darling.
You stay right here. I'll be back before morning.
Be careful. I love you, and I don't want anything to happen to you.
I love you too, dear. Please don't worry. What's up?
What's up, dear?
There's something over there. Wait till I get the flashlight on. There. Hey! Howdy, mister. Oh, you thought I was going around here for miles. That's what I was thinking. You big, fancy automobile, too. Well. Where'd you come from? Up there. Up in the hills. Where you from, mister? Where you heading? Well, the same fact is, right now we're stuck. Yeah,
You can't get our car started.
So I'm going to hike to the highway and get some help. That's what you're planning to do, eh? Talk to her. Well, we couldn't ever make it, mister, not to take you in. Your hands kicking like that, ain't hardly able to stand. I've got to. Maybe. But you listen to me now. I got the burro here. When I'm tired, I ride, and when he's tired, I walk. I should get to the highway for you.
You'd do that for us?
Why not? I'm on my way to get water myself. Oh, make it worth your while. Money? Take it, mister. I'd be glad to do a simple act to tell you. Now, you just sit right there. Both of you. Don't go wandering off and get yourselves lost. I'll be back. Just trust me, friend. Just trust the old face.
Oh, no. That's what he is.
Yeah, I agree. We'll be safe now. Come on, Sheila. You sit in the car. Try to get some rest. Gabby.
Oh, what? Oh.
Yeah, babe. He was going to leave for help. I stopped him. He was going to wait for me now. Wait. Wait for doomsday, huh? That's right. Might as well sit out here for a while. Imagine in a pool getting caught up here and nothing to drink.
Yeah.
Just imagine. Yonder, bring me a dip of cold water from the great spring. Just thinking about them folks gives me a powerful thirst. Yeah. Look at that moon, kid.
Almost as bright as daylight.
That's cooler. Much cooler.
You must be thankful for that. What time is it?
10:15. We've been gone for almost an hour and a half.
Could he have reached the highway yet, you think?
6 miles? No, not even near it. Even right in the burrow.
I wonder how far he is.
Should be easy enough to find out. In this moonlight, with this elevation, I should be able to spot him. See now.
See him?
No.
Well, there are shadows. But those rocks are out there.
If he's moving, we should be able to... That's strange.
What do you mean?
I wonder if we haven't been fooled. The way he looked at us and at the car. Almost as if... he's not out there.
But he went in that direction.
He could have circled around behind these rocks. Right now, he could be waiting until morning and that sun again, and at the end for us.
He seems such a harmless old man.
Harmless? To kill us, he would need a gun or a knife, not out here. Just to trick us, as he's done now.
Then you'll have to try to make the highway out there?
No, I can't.
Why not?
If that's his plan, to stick around until dawn, to watch us die and then take everything, he's a killer. But I can't leave you alone here. Sheila.
Yes, dear?
Look, you see I got the flashlight turning? That's the prints of his animal in that alkaline dust. And then, over here, see? Another.
Yes.
If we follow those prints, then we can find him. If he is hanging around here, then he's got water. And we've got to get in before sunrise. Let's go.
I don't know. It could have been an animal.
The burrow is. We must have a camp around here.
Look. Between these boulders. Is this not a keep?
Yes. And beside it, next to that pole, the burrow.
I see something else, too.
What?
Hanging from that kind of rock.
Yeah, a goat skin. There's only one thing holding something like that out here.
What?
But right now, he's sleeping in that tent. Sleeping, waiting for that sun to come up and kill us. Honey, you stay here. I've got to try to slip that goat skin of water out of there.
Let me have it.
No. There's too much noise together. Here, hold the flashlight. But keep it off.
There's no one with a gun. I might have a knife.
Wait here. So far, so good. Steady, steady. A few more feet. Now. Almost done. And we're right again. Get it off this thing. Now. What's that? Dandy, wake up. Hey, Mr. Stop. Stopping, Dandy. Go ahead, Sheila. Start back to the car. Hurry. Oh, no, you don't, Mister. Hold him, Dandy. Hold him. Boy, I can't. All right, we got him now. What's that? What? Water, man. Water, that's what it is. He dropped our water bag. Pick it up. Hurry. Yeah, I'm trying to. I think. Here. Hey. Too late, sir. Look at it. Empty. Just empty. He knocked it out of my arm.
Are you all right, Les?
Yes, but it doesn't matter. There's no water. No water. No water for the other.
No water. He's right, Pete. We got to get more water before sunrise. We'll all die here. Fast as well, huh? You don't have to tell me. I'll quit now and get to the home and pack our gear. You'll take the car just like I planned. Have you still got the keys for it? I got it. Don't you worry about that. Let's get moving. I'm coming, Grace. I'm coming.
Did you take that? They took the keys.
Let's get back to the car.
But you can't start it.
At least we can try to prevent Ben from taking it. Come on.
It's getting light. Can't you see them yet?
No. But they'll be coming. My Lord.
Look. Coming down that high rock.
Remember, we can't stay in the car no matter what happens.
You and the missus. Get away from that car.
We won't move from here.
You gonna make us wait till our sun kills you?
That's what you're going to have to do.
Our sun's most up already. How long can you and the missus last with no water? Huh? How long? Few hours ago.
How long can you and your friend wait for it? You don't have any water either.
He's right, Pete. We can't wait around much. Shut up, Cindy.
Look out, Leslie.
Have you shotgun, mister? Now you and the missus get away from that car. Or I'll kill you right now.
Either you shoot us, or we die of heat and faith. Right here. The shooting might be a lot easier for us.
You've got your head, Dave, don't you? Shut up.
Well? What's the matter? Why don't you shoot?
I'll tell you why, mister. Because you ain't got no sheriff for that gun. I told you to shut up.
That shotgun isn't loaded?
Even so, you ain't getting away from here.
Neither are you. Just think about that.
We got the animals. We got the burro here.
And it's 6 miles out to the highway. Animal or not, you can't make it with no water while that sun is up.
Now, if you don't move out of the way, we're going to throw you out of the way. There's 2 of us. And me and Jenny is going to...
And there's 2 of us.
They're in the car, Tina.
No, they're old men, and together maybe we can hold them off.
Come on, Jenny. Let's take that car now. I'm going to swing along with this just easy. Get easy, no more, I say it's easy. We got the car now. We can leave him here. We can't get the car. Yes, we can. Now, listen. We got to get us some water or we're going to die with them.
Give me those ignition keys.
So you can leave us here without water? We will walk through this day.
I know that.
You can't keys ain't doing us any good. Listen to him, babe. Listen. Now, listen. Will you get some water to us up here?
Give me the keys.
You got a promise.
Give them to me.
Guess we've got to trust you anyway. Here you are.
Thanks. Get in here.
Yeah. Now, we're going to be waiting. We're going to be waiting right here, mister. Don't forget us now.
Why not? You can sit in that sun and roast.
No, mister, please. You couldn't do that.
Yes, I could.
Mister, leaving us here, forgetting us, that we murder, that's what it means.
In just a moment, we'll return for the concluding act of Suspense. Hi, this is Dennis James. Say, remember way back when this melody was popular? special about a long-time favorite, isn't there? Well, folks feel the same way about one of Kellogg's favorites, Kellogg's All-Bran. Going on 41 years now, it's been America's most popular good food way to fight irregularity from lack of bulk. Because it's whole bran, Kellogg's All-Bran gentles away irregularity safely and reliably. And because it's deep toasted for extra crispness, it never gets mushy in milk. There's only one All-Bran, Kellogg's All-Bran. That's ALL-BRAN. Kellogg's All-Bran.
There it is, Lester. There's the highway.
I see it.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Well, darling, we were heading west, but you turned us back toward the town.
You know we can't leave them here without sending someone to help them.
No, dear. Of course we can't. Not us.
We lost the whole day and night up there, and anyway, at least we got some good pictures. Just in case we never get a chance to cross this section of the country again.
Lester, dear, if we ever have to go this way again, let's not.
Suspense. You've been listening to Inferno, written for Suspense by Peter Fernandez. In a moment, the names of our players and the word about next week's story of Suspense. The man behind one of America's most familiar voices is Lowell Thomas. His broadcast of news and commentary have been an important part of the weeknight listening schedule of millions of Americans for some 3 decades. They rely on the accuracy of his reporting, his authoritative comment, plus colorful glimpses of small human elements of the news. Weeknight, hear Lowell Thomas with the news on CBS Radio. For number 2, come November 8th, Mr. Thomas will join a large corps of veteran CBS News colleagues to bring you complete election night coverage. Along with Edward R. Murrow and Eric Severide, we'll be analyzing major trends. Howard K. Smith will be on hand to interpret electronic computer data. Blair Clark will aid anchorman Robert Strout in reporting overall progress of the vote. And other frontline CBS News veterans will relay the regional report. So set your dial for complete election night coverage November 8th at your CBS radio station. Story were Ellen McRae as Sheila, Richard Holland as Lester, Mandel Kramer as Bates, and Robert Dryden as Dandy. Listen again next week when we return with Nightman by Lucille Fletcher, another tale well calculated to keep you in